Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport as we are here for the next round of the season. We are here at Zolder. What a race this should pose to be today. It should be absolutely fantastic, the job we have on store. Apologies, I loaded the wrong graphic there, but I am your host, Matthew Duffin, joined in the box tonight by my co-commentator for this season. It is that of PN Motorsport. PN, good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Matt. I'm just face palming when you said you put the wrong graphic up again.
Yeah, just the wrong graphic. I had Dan there as the commentator, not me and you for tonight's venture, yes.
Yeah, I just saw it on my other screen because I've got the stream running on the other.
How are we though? Are we good?
Yeah, I'll be glad to see you back as Zolder. Not a fan of this circuit. Never have been. Too tight and technical.
Either way, though, this is where we are for tonight's race, and it is going to be a fantastic race. It is going to be a fantastic night for all the drivers tonight. A very tricky technical circuit, as you said. Overtaking PN is one of the harder things tonight.
Yeah, I think it's actually nearly as hard to overtake it here as it is, like, say, at Monaco or Hungaroring, because of the width of the track.
Yeah, and the track does start quite wide as you come through the first sector, but it does narrow down just after the chicane, so it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers will be able to take on and what these drivers will be able to do throughout the course of the evening. If my mic is a little crackly, please do let me know. I'm trying a new position and standing up for tonight's race. But yes, we're here. We're in Belgium. We're at Zolder. We did have 29 drivers confirmed for tonight's race. We have got 25 drivers currently in the lobby, ready to go. PN, the Pro Grid, has got bigger and bigger and bigger, and this proves to be one of the best races and most fullest grid we've had here at the SimPlay Motorsport Championship.
Yeah, well, yeah, because what was on Project Cars 2, you could only have 16, didn't we? Apart from if we ran the race at Knock Hill, where it was only 12. And back on the PS4, the next size we could have was 20 on ACC.
With this grid being 29 cars tonight, PN, this is a question I want to ask: is how tricky will this be for these drivers? Obviously, there's a lot now. We said it was a technical tight circuit, overtaking very difficult. That means it's harder for these guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was actually quite hard last night in Pro-Am. In Pro-Am, you had to take a risk. Because both, well, me and you were front of the grid, and I'm watching Monkey Boy and Gary spin in tandem at the chicane. So
when we look at these 29 drivers, obviously the newcomers start at the back of the grid for coming in as new drivers. We also look at the likes of Dennis Newman and Martin will be at the back of the grid because of retirements last week. For Dan and Mike, though, they're down in the low 22nd or 21st and 22nd or 22nd, 23rd, I can't remember which. Not an easy task to come from there. Obviously, ACC, we've used to having 20 cars on a full grid for the reserve grid races, so not easy for them guys either.
No, it's going to be a lot harder to get through the field. And with the window opening after the first lap, this pit window, you can't sort of dive in straight away and get an undercut this time round.
Look. No, you cannot. That's the biggest change this year. The pit window opening sort of at the end of lap 2, not at the end of the first lap. So we do currently have 25 cars in the lobby. We are expecting 29, and it is Arnash setting the pace from Dan Davis. Lamborghini, then overtaken, coming to the line. He is third, with Mike Matthews currently up there in fourth. To Fizz is currently sat in fifth. Sky Schundelmeyer in sixth place. Then it is Paolo and Dennis Newman. Alex Power is P10. Alex Power's P9. Darren Yo's currently down in P10. Clarbel, one of our new drivers today. Again, another Xbox driver coming in. Clarbel is currently P11. Ramy Fernie down in 12th, with S2M Borough Bex in P14. He's actually just dropped down the list as Paolo moves into P7. So Borough Bex, another new driver as well. Sheary's P15 with Luke P17. P. Williams, another new driver in the Lamborghini Evo. He's P17. Sam, now we know you're a bit of an Aston Martin fan. You drove the Aston Martin this season. The other season, sorry. Great to see another Aston Martin out there on the track.
It is. It's wrong colour though. It needs to be green.
Another pink car out there. Then we probably have one of the favourite cars, one of the best sounding cars. We've got De Hoffner in P19. Graham is in P20. H. Costa, new driver as well. He's P21. Gary Leach down in 22nd. Simon Blair 23rd. Andrew Taylor 24th. And Jake Clouden 25th place. Good grid tonight.
It is a good grid, and we're still waiting for like Fury to get in, and I can't remember who else without looking. Maybe I think it's a couple of the reserves that aren't in into.
Fury, Morton was meant to come in. Yeah,
Morton's just come in.
Ah, there we go. So Morton is in. So we're now up to 26 drivers. So I can't remember the other three actually. So Fury was one. Let me just have a look at the list. Fury's one. Losser has just declined, so we will not be getting Kevin Losser tonight. So we're down to 28. So Fury is one. Den Brave I've not seen on that list. Is then the other?
Yeah. Well, this many cars, like this is what chaos.
Oh, it's going to be mad. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be absolutely chaotic. But I'm really looking forward to this. I think this could be a cracking night's worth of racing.
What would make Zolder better is get rid of the first chicane.
You see, I'm not going to criticise.
I don't mind the deal of chicane.
I'm not going to criticise Zolder. Six wins I've had here. I'm the most successful driver at the circuit, so I'm not going to criticise the track.
And a Lamborghini rear wing removal.
Don't know what you mean.
I do, because I understood it.
No further action on that one. So I don't know what you mean. Yeah, if you missed last night's action, make sure you go back onto the YouTube channel and check out the action from last night. Right, though, the championship standings look a little like this, and my God, are they a treat for your eyes. Dan Davis leads away on 105 points, 23 points ahead of Mike Matthews. Fury, or Joe, is down in P3. He is 27 back. Nash is in P4 with Gary Leach P5. P6 is Luke, as Joe actually just gets in the lobby as well. Luke is in P6. P7 is Ramy Fernie. Den Brave is P8. He's the only one we're missing at the moment. As I'm just going to lift my monitor up slightly and tilt it. I can actually now get a better read on these championship standings. That is beautiful. Look at that. Den Brave is P8. Darren Yeo is P9. Overtaker is sat in P10. Coutiers is P11. Paolo P12. Sherry P13. Clouden 14th place to Fizz 15th. Losser P16. Andrew Taylor P17. Graham P18. Alex Powell P19. Sky Schundelmeyer P20. Simon Blair P21. Dennis Newman P22. De Hoffner 23. Garvin Williams, Corbel, Burrabeck, Sam Tech Leader Morton and Costa. Round out the drivers who haven't scored a point. Now Dennis Newman and Morton are on two bans tonight. They have been demoted to what should have been the front of the grid PN. They're going to the back of the grid because of two retirements last week. They also have qualifying bans along with that of Simon Blair and Sky Schundelmeyer for retiring as well. So them four have qualifying bans in qualifying 2. But for Dennis Newman and for Morton, they have to go from the back of the pack in that first race as well.
Yeah, I was just checking the numbers. I think Costa's got the wrong number. That's meant to be Morton's number. Or Martin's number. So, yeah. I was just checking through the numbers.
Well, we're fine with that. There's nothing we can do for now. We'll have to leave that one as it is. Is he out on circuit yet? Where is he? Where is De Hoff?
Where is the best handling car on the grid?
Cannot currently see him on that list. Where is he? There he is. No, he's in the pits.
He's still in the pits, yeah. Oh.
Right, constructors standings. SimPlay Racing lead the way, 98 points clear of the BTC Jaeger Racing boys. The Haggis Munchers are P3 down on 73 points. Red Run Racing, a Fury on his own. Actually, that is in the wrong order. Red Run Racing are actually third as an independent. Then it's the Haggis Munchers. Then it is JB Racing. Ottinger All Stars at P6. Two Old Hams down in P7. Followed by the Vesser Racing Team. Button Basher Racing and then BDM Motorsport. The manufacturers. Dan said last night, for the first time this season, in the manufacturers, BMW lead 28 points from McLaren. Then it is Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes, Porsche, Bentley, Aston Martin, Audi, Honda. But there's a few more Lamborghinis and a few more Ferraris signed up that will be out there tonight, which means great things for them. There is also a few more Aston Martins as well, PN, to score some points in that manufacturers table.
There is. I won't mind a Ferrari winning. Even though me and Michael J's are defending Bentley's honour from winning last season.
Yeah. Shame that there'll be no more other Bentleys on the grid to compete. So we are just missing Den Brave then, and we hope Den Brave can get himself in the lobby in time. But like we said, we are here, we are live. It's all fascinating tonight. PN is in the chat with me. In fact, no, Den Brave is in, so we now have 27 runners. Well, now I don't know who we're missing. So we are missing one. Because we were meant to have 29, but Losser has pulled out.
Which is Whitcomb in the YouTube chat, I believe, isn't it? Right now.
FBR Whitcomb, yeah, looking forward to this. That is, he is a new driver on the grid. Can't remember which one he is. Whitcomb, I believe, is Paul Williams. I'd have to check the sign-up sheets to realise who is their PSN names and things like that.
I'm just seeing if we've lost a driver.
So if I go back to the Pro event page, that's Pro-Am. If I go back to the Pro event page, so I'll read them off, you tell us. We've got Sky Shundlemeyer, we've got Mike Matthews, we've got Darren Yo, Simon Blair, Dennis Newman, Luke, Dan Davis, De Hoffner, Ramy Fernie, Overtaker, Jamal Clouden, Andrew Taylor, Paolo, UADV, Sherry, that is Sherry, Just Boris, which is Arnash, Gary Leach, Alex Pow, Carbel, I believe is in, Clarbel, yeah, he's in, Whitcomb, Costa P is H. Costa, The Saint, FBR The Saint. Right, I've not added their names to the Discord yet, so I am going to have to load up the GT3 names of who signed up. So, Clarbel, Helder Costa, Sam. Is Sam in the lobby? I cannot see.
Sam is in the lobby.
Sam is in the lobby.
Yep, Pink Aston.
Pink Aston.
Pink metallic Aston.
I can't see Sam. Paul Williams is Whitcomb.
Yep. Paul Williams is in the Lambo.
So then who is the reserves? Cutius, Denbrave, DeFizz, and Martin.
We've got Martin. DeFizz is...
Yeah. And we've got Denbrave. And I do believe we have Cutius.
We'll find him later.
No, I don't think Cutius is actually on that list. So just Cutius, who's not yet at the event, I do believe. So we will find him later. And we'll go through there. It's going to be a fantastic evening of racing either way. Good evening in the chat to Tracy, Peaceful Stepdad, Micro J's, Hypetech, Fury's Grandad, FBR Whitcomb, and Ian Gray. Congratulations, Ian, last night on the third place podium. Fury's mum as well. Good evening to you. Just looking at some of the comments. Can't wait for this one, says Micro J. Gonna be good racing, says Tracy. Looking forward to this, says Paul Williams. Hypetech, good luck. Pro drivers give us some good T1 action. Like we had last night. Simon Blair ends up in the wall. Here is Sam leaving the pit lane. Now, one thing we could do be talking about actually is that pit entry pian. It has caused a few dramas over the seasons here. Pit entry. Not sure why, but it's a tricky one because as you're coming flat out of the hairpin, you have to be careful of the cars in front of you that you don't rear end another car and drive into another one as you're coming into that pit lane.
Yeah, it is a very tricky pit lane, and even pit exit's quite tricky because it comes out on the racing line. I mean, who would have put that there in their right mind?
Well, let's see who has read the rules and regulations and which drivers know what to do. Darren Yo at the minute, by the way, running up in P6, only 1.1 off the pace. Now, hopefully he's running full fuel. Me and Daz had a good chat off air a few weeks ago about what his goals should be this season. And... you know, just try and be who you can be. He actually races with Alex Power in a league on a Sunday night. Alex not showing his pace that we see on that Sunday night, as that was one of the two old AM cars off in the gravel trap. Dennis Newman, he was saying the other day he feels that his pace is only good enough for Pro-Am. Well, 1.5 seconds off the quickest pace of Nash. It's not really Pro-Am pace, is it?
No, I'm having owl bliss right now. I'm listening to a V12 Aston Martin go round.
Yeah. Here we go. Listen, let's just listen and appreciate this sound.
Oh, what a car.
Absolutely.
What a car.
Fantastic.
They don't make cars like that anymore.
They don't make cars like that anymore. At all. At all. What a fantastic car that is.
Oh, I should have had it. It was on the list.
Did you want to run it though?
Just to deafen everyone, yes. Oh, what a car. Oh.
Yeah, beautiful car, beautiful car. Piano Zolder today. It looks a dry day. It was good. It's an evening race, let's not forget. So tyre attempts are going to be the interesting one to keep our eyes on here, as Nash has gone a bit quicker because Mike is now just over a second. What do the drivers have to do tonight, PM, to stay in this race and stay in this fight? Obviously, tyre pressures will be dropping. We'll be getting close to 8 PM in race 2. Tyre temps will start to be dropping as well as the track temp and stuff.
Yeah, well, the front tyres on the Bentley last night started dropping after with 5 laps left to go. Couldn't keep them back above 27 psi. No matter how hard I brake.
Who do you say is going to be the man to watch?
Nash. That Lambo is rapid. with a number what we on a Ferrari next year.
Yes, very true. Do you think though that the reverse grid, obviously brand new is Nash to the season, do you think the reverse grid is going to hurt him or help him?
Well, again, this track's narrow, isn't it? So, it's a very old circuit, really, not ruined by Herman Tilke.
It is indeed.
I mean,
I just want to point out a second, Tracy in the chat, everyone hit the like button. Thank you very much, Tracy, that is much appreciated. Everybody, while you are there, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the bell to be notified.
Should we have a SimPlay watch-along to Bathurst on Saturday?
Do you know what? I was thinking of streaming like a little watch-along thing, while like possibly playing golf. I think for a watch-along, you can't put the action on the circuit, so, you know.
Or you can have the action in the corner and play ACC, driving around Bathurst.
No, I'm testing for the Nürburgring. In fact, Sunday I'll be driving, so I know it's Saturday night, isn't it? Right, we're coming to the last 3 minutes of practice here. So what is going to be the way the first race goes? Now, again, we've got 27 drivers on the grid. Sorry, 26. So we've lost somebody. I'm not sure who's left. We've got 26 drivers currently on the grid out of 28. And if you ask me, it's reverse grid. It's a 20-minute sprint. What could happen here?
Chaos. Chaos is probably going to happen here. It happened in race 2 of Pro-Am. I didn't see it in race 1.
For Dan, though, who is the championship leader, what's he got to do?
Survive, avoid the incidents, work his way through the field, and drive with your head, not with your heart.
As the saying goes. It was easier said than done for me last night, but I got tapped around, unfortunately, due to a turn 1 incident. Right, we're into the final 2 minutes. Just before the race starts, I'm going to run off quickly for the toilet. PM, apologies. Talk us through the action.
Well, I don't know what camera you're on, so because I'm watching something different at the moment. I'm trying to figure out who left the lobby. Then we've lost a driver, and I can't figure out who it was. Alex Pound's moved up to 7th as he's practicing pit entry. Darren Yo's found time. He's now up to P6 in this practice session. I'm trying to avoid the V12 Aston because I may have a incident. No, I'm looking up the V12 Aston. Can't help myself. Okay. Yeah, there's Ian Gray, who's the 666 driver, while I'm the 66. My number. It was saying it will be tricky, and that was me replying to Hypertech in referring to the V12 Aston like a proper F1 car, and not the hybrids, which were a bit flat. As Fury's up to P15 currently in the BMW, whereas we've got 15 seconds left of the session. As Tony goes, Paolo, P10, that's not bad for Paolo. In the Brazilian flag coloured McLaren. But Nash, about 5/10 of a second faster than Davis. We've overtaken 8/10 off the fastest. And Mike also about 8 tenths off. Not bad pace by Mike Matthews. He's gelling with this Ferrari 296 really well. And we got De Fizz in P5. He's one of the reserve drivers. No P5.
Okay, I'm back.
Daz has just moved up to P6 with ahead of Alex as Matt has returned.
Yeah. Just reading some of the comments here. Ian, will be hard passing drivers starting from the back in a reverse grid. It's a tricky circuit to find safe overtakes, but it may help avoid turn 1 and the first chicane chaos. Yeah, possibly so. Could be an interesting one to go through this evening. Who's left out on track? That is Fury, who is left out on the circuit. So Joe, you've got to get used, Pien. This was a hard thing last week. You've got to get used to calling them their real names now, not their PSN names.
Well, mine's kind of my real name, but not.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You'll want to go and say Peaceful and Unorthodox and Fury, and then you'll look at it and the viewers won't understand. Right, the grid order then. This is brand new to you guys. We don't post it on the Discord anymore. The grid order is as follows. De Hoffner will be from Simon Blair. Sky Schundelmeyer from Alex Powell. Graham from Andrew Taylor. The two teammates line up alongside each other there on row 3. De Fizz from Jay Clouden. Sheary from Paolo. Overtaker from Darren Yo. Raimi Fernie from Luke. Gary Leach from Arnash. Joe from Mike Matthews. Dan Davis. Dennis Newman on his ban. B. Martin on his ban. Clarbel, Williams, Bora Bex, Sam Costa bringing up the rear. So there is no Coutiers. And I can't remember. Den Brave I didn't read out there neither. So there's no Den Brave either on that grid. So hopefully them two can get in.
No, wrong. 13 degrees track temp. That's getting quite cool now.
It is getting cool. And let's not forget though that 13 degrees track temp, I mean it's apparently 13 degrees where I am at the moment looking on the PC. 30 seconds. That in the 45-minute race is going to get colder.
Oh yeah, it definitely got colder last night in race 2 of Pro-Am.
20 seconds.
So let's see. PN tip for a race winner.
Oh, I like to say Tibbs or Sky because he's sitting in he's starting at P3. We know he's quite a handy driver, but how quickly can the likes of Nash and Davis get through? As we're now beginning the warm-up lap.
Right, so I've gone for a different 4 on the poll. I've gone for Simon Blair, I've gone for Sky Schundelmeyer, Overtaker and Raimi Fernie. That is just because of their positions on the grid. That is why I've put them on there, because of their positions on the grid. Let's see what they can do. This is going to be fantastic to see. De Fizz has missed the start. Now, I don't believe you go a lap down. Costa has also missed the start, so them drivers will be coming from the pit lane. That will free up a space for everybody behind them on this one, but it is that pure raw sex appeal of the Aston V12 that will take us away from pole position.
Can we stop the race now and just have that as the winner?
Red flag, De Hoffner wins.
Red flag,
well done,
red flag, De Hoffner's won.
Yeah,
it's a win from Aston V12.
Although, to be fair, that would probably be worse than the Formula 1 that only did 2 laps at Spa the other year.
Well, because it was raining.
Let's get to 25% race distance. Right.
75.
You're going with, who did you go with? Sky?
Sky.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm going to go for Tibbs as well. I think I'm going to go for Sky as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go for Tibbs. Or,
right.
I still think he should have put his name down as Agent Tibbles.
See, look, I like this, look. All of a sudden, because there's no Den Brave, Mike moves up a place. Because De Fizz has missed the start, look, he drops down the bottom of the pack as through sector 1. So Mike and Dan will actually go from 17th and 18th on the grid. Because Coutiers and Den Brave aren't here. So that works out in Mike and Dan's favour a little bit more. But there is 26 cars. 24 will take to the start.
Maybe it's a good thing starting from the pit lane.
Ian, in the chat, it's going to be decided depending on how clean the first lap is. If it's a clean first lap, the faster guys may struggle to make enough positions. That is bang on. 20 minutes is a short race. The faster guys may take long to come through the pack here.
Yeah, and you again, unlike last season where you could dive into the pits after the first lap to get your pit stop out of the way, getting clear there.
2 laps now.
You can't do that now.
Right, De Hoffner needs to back the pack up here. Pack a little strung out.
Oh, that V12 Aston looks majestic. And it's a proper noise like the old F1 cars.
Here we go.
I'm not feeling nostalgia for the old cars.
Coming through the final chicane. It is him on the front row with Simon Blair. Sky Schundelmeyer and Alex Powell just behind. De Hoffner leads the pack away as they all negotiate the chicane for round 3 of the season. It is green and go here at Zolder for the Pro Series. De Hoffner already leading down into turn 1, gets on the brakes nice and easy. Just behind you see Sky already trying to attack up the inside of Simon Blair, but he can't get the move done. And then on the outside of him it is Alex Powell. Watch for him and his pace in this race. Oh, there's a tap on one of the rears of the 2 old Pro cars. Believe it was out of Andrew Taylor. Everybody looks like they've came through relatively clearly, although I am seeing 10181 I do believe in the back. That is at Clarbel round at turn 1. There's also a car off. That is Gary Leach. Gary Leach is also in the gravel. Overtakers here. I believe Dan Davis is in that mix as well. So what has happened to our current championship leader? They're all tumbling down the packs as they come through the sector times. It is really hotting up. De Hoffner, though, still leads this race from Simon Blair, from Sky Schundelmeyer, then Alex Powell on the back, followed then by Graham and Andrew Taylor, who's not gone through the sector 1 time. Fury is stationary. Nash is still going. Dan Davis, Ramy Fernie, I don't know where he is. He's gone back to the pit lane. Absolute chaos at the start. But De Hoffner still leads, really backing the pack up. Well, what happened there, PM?
Dennis heavy damage. He's just been rear-handed by Luke, Doctor Who. I've got a feeling Dennis is about to quit out. No, he's moving again. Dan has got a lot of damage on the front of his car. He's missed the build of chicane.
Well, Costa is now leaving the pits. Coutiers is in the lobby, so he's got him for the race. De Fizz in the pits. Nash is driving round. Dan Davis is driving round. Dennis Newman is also driving round.
Nash is pulling over.
Joe, I don't know where Joe is. I've pressed Joe on the track.
Nash has stopped his car.
I can't see where Joe is. Nash has returned to the pit lane.
Yep. Joe,
Fury's in the chat. Fury, you need to keep it out of the chat. Put it in the Discord as a ticket, please. Right, so driver's already coming in. Paolo's got that as well. And well, chaos at turn 1, but it is Simon Blair who now leads this race. From Sky Schundelmeyer, Alex Powell, De Hoffner being attacked by Graham, going into the first chicane. Graham up the inside. Oh, he's dropped the rear! He's dropped the rear at the first chicane. That'll allow Andrew Taylor and Clouden to come through. There's Morton. Morton now drops the rear. Mike Matthews goes through. Morton's coming across the track. Slams on the brakes. Manages to get it stopped. He gets it in reverse. But for him and Graham, it is chaos and a disaster. The pit window now opens for these drivers who have got to go again. And Joe in the chat, he cannot turn the car at all. I don't know where Joe even is on the circuit. Car 95 now leaves the track. That is Coutiers. That'll be because he came in late. So Coutiers in the lobby late, but is in and will score points at the end of the day. Sky Schundelmeyer on the back of Simon Blair, but Simon Blair boxes. Alex Powell stays out. De Hoffner comes into the pits. Andrew Taylor stays out, gets the chicane wrong. This will allow Clouden to have an opportunity of coming through.
That was quick by De Hoffner.
Mike Matthews stays out. Sheary stays out with damage. Gary Leach is also staying out. P. Williams straight into the pits. Clarbel stays out. Sam stays out. Graham into the pits. What about Morton? He's made a mistake at the final chicane, but for Paolo and all the others behind, Darren Yeo is in the pits and everything. Wow, absolute chaos. But there's a battle. Clouden on the back of Andrew Taylor. He's now looking up the inside out of turn 2. He's looking up the inside for turn 3. Monkey Boy tries to hang it around the outside. Andrew Taylor tries to hang it around the outside. Apologies. Still side by side with Clouden now. Simon Blair is away in the pit lane. I believe Alex Powell has got ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer. Monkey Boy, Andrew Taylor versus Clouden. Contact, I believe. Monkey Boy is stationary and has to stay still and manages to keep it all going, but Clouden holds on to that place. Sky's now back ahead of Alex Powell, but has gone deep at the Villeneuve chicane.
Oh, that was chaos. That's still Monkey Boy stationary and waiting for a clear space. Has he not got reverse mapped?
Andrew Taylor. You're all right. You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there.
You'll get there. Gary Leach hassling the back then of Sherry at the minute. Gary Leach a podium last time out at Donington Race 1. He's now up there at the minute. Simon Blair, De Hoffner, P. Williams and Graham have all done their mandatory pit stops in this race. 27 people did start. We are down to 26. Who have we lost? We've lost a driver. Not quite sure who that is. We'll see at the timing screens at the end of the race. But Gary on the back. Sky Schundelmeyer goes into the pits for BTC Jaeger Racing. With the SimPlay Racing boys having a bad one so far, this is the exact start they needed.
It is there's heavy damage on Doctor Who's, Luke's. Luke Who. Well, that's what I'm going to call him now. His Aston Martin. The front bonnet is lifting up. I see. Extra cooling.
We're back up to the 27 drivers, so whoever was missing is no longer missing. I'm still looking for Joe. He's in the pit lane according to that. The camera just isn't panning around. Yeah, you see him at the top of the pits. There is a lot of pit stops happening here. Sky Schundelmeyer is now away. Clairbull has gone through, so has Martin. Sam is in the pit. Simon Blair over Sky. These two was battling for the race lead. So where is Blair going to come through in terms of Sky? He gets the job done. Sky's actually trying to overtake. Oh, and he's tapped Luke! Luke and Sky have came together on the pit exit. Wow, that is from Sky there. He wants to get a hurry on, but he's tapped Luke, who's not done his pit stop either, let's not forget. Because of turn 1 damage, Andrew Taylor is now in the pit lane with damage. That is Fury's car who's away. But it is Alex Powell who leads this race from then Jamal Clouden. And then it is Mike Matthews, fastest lap of the race. He's got a bit of damage to the front of his Ferrari. But Mike Matthews, P3, once again, he's looking for another podium here.
Yeah, I think he might be looking for more than a podium.
Well, he's hunting them down. Still drivers in the pits. Still plenty of drivers in the pits. Dan Davis has still got to pit again. Look at the bottom half of the field. All still having to pit again. Did anybody from the top lot pit? Sherry stays out. He's got Gary Leach crawling all over the back of him here as Sherry at the moment. And as he comes through, he's got damage to his right-hand side of his car. Gary's going to go up the inside at turn 2. Leave each other room and respect. And Gary thanking Mama for the carrots up the inside. Great move from Gary Leach there. The two-time pro champion making it look easy on Sherry. He looks like he's got damage. And that is a stop-go penalty for Andrew Taylor speeding in the pit lane.
Probably right at the end, either too quick in or coming out right at the end as the pit limiter line in.
I think it's possibly too quick in here, you know, because you kind of put your foot down after the right-hander and then the pit box line comes up. So it's interesting to see. But the top guys all still yet to pit. DeFizz still in there. Nash is back out on track. Overtaker's 25th. Joe's 24th. Ramy Fernie comes in for his stop. Darren Yeo has done his stop, but down in 22nd. He's just got his 21st. Now he's got ahead of Paolo. Then it's Luke who's got to still pit. Dennis Newman's 19th, but he's stopped. Dan Davis is 18th. He's got to pit. Kutius is in the pits. Dan Davis will just get past him. Andrew Taylor's got to stop again. Costa needs to pit. Martin then needs to stop. But it is Alex Powell who comes across the line. Fastest lap of the race he just sets as well. Then it is Jamal Clouden. He's got Mike Matthews hassling him down here. Gary Leach has managed to drop Sherry, but has Sherry gone pit lane? Yes, he has. What about Clairbull? He goes through the final chicane. And Martin, he continues on his way as well. So Mike Matthews at the moment, PN, really hunting down after the McLaren driver, but he looks like he's got some heavy front-end damage on that car.
It does, but it might have made the car turn in better. Because, you know, sim racing is like that. Sometimes you knock a corner and it makes the car handle better.
Well,
I don't want to fix that.
There's 11 and a half minutes left in this race. Monkey Boy, Andrew Taylor's back into the pits, as is Sherry. And your championship leader is down in 17th place. All the championship protagonists, really, that we expected off air, are down below 15th place. Mike Matthews, Gary Leach, who were up there in the championship, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. This is like Hungaroring last season when Ripper had issues.
Yeah, we won't go there.
And someone was a bit like Valtteri Bottas, am I right?
Yeah, we won't go there. Mike Matthews really getting onto the back of Clouden here. You see the car 11 is hassling the back of the 36. McLaren Alex Powell up front, you're just seeing in the foreground. He stays out on track. Will Clouden or Mike Matthews decide to come into the pit? None of them decide to box. What about Gary Leach in the background? Will we get a shot of him? You hear his Porsche zoom past, and Gary Leach has definitely gone into the pits. He's not come through the chicane. Now for Gary, will he repair his damage? Looked like he had a little bit on the front. Paolo still in the pit lane here then. So that's allowing drivers to climb up the order. Dan Davis still 17th. Will probably get past Monkey Boy, but has another stop to go, does Dan Davis. And look at Luke. Luke on the back of these three. I think he's just came out of the pits, but he is also a lap down to these cars. Gary Leach and Clauble into the pits. Morton stays out once again. 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes left, Pian, of this pit window, where we're currently watching the Cloud and Mike Matthews battle.
Yeah, it's been hectic, hasn't it, this?
Well, normally they say, don't they? Normally they say a quiet Pro-Am, which we had last week, a hectic Pro. We had that last week. We had a pretty hectic Pro-Am last night, and in this 20-minute sprint race, it has all gone to pot for the Pro drivers.
I don't know. I didn't see not many people really, apart from my other takes, unlike John Andrews and people like that.
Well, there you go. You hear from race control that we are halfway through the race distance, and we're currently watching this fantastic fight play out here between these drivers. It really is an absolute belter of a battle, this, between Mike Matthews and between Jay Clouden then. And if we're just looking at the tip for the race win, well, it went the way of Sky Shundlemeyer at the moment. We are going to end the poll there. Well, for Sky, he's down in P6, but all the top four still yet to pit. Clouden's in. Clouden comes into the box. Alex Powell has stayed out. Clouden is in the pits. Mike Matthews as well stays out. And we just await Morton, who's got a bit of damage on the front of his car, and he's got one of the Vesser Racing Team cars behind him. Not sure if that is Darren Yeo or Dennis Newman. It's Dennis Newman who is behind him. So will Morton come into the pits? No, chooses to stay out one more time. So down the pack we've got Costa, Burrow, Bex and Dan Davis left to pit. Joe and Overtaker are left to pit as Nash down in 26th place. We have lost another driver. I think DeFizz must be suffering with internet problems because he's left the lobby again, unfortunately. But out front, well, interesting to see. Closest fight is Paul Williams on the back of Sam.
I was on mute because someone was just messaging me. I think Clouden's changed tyres because that was quite a long stop.
I do believe it wasn't DeFizz. Is he still out there? Because I've just seen on the chat that Paolo is disconnected.
Paolo's in the session. He's 24.
Not sure then. Oh, that was 8 minutes ago, so I'm not sure.
That was 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, not sure. Oh well. We're still good. We're currently watching Paul Williams and Sam debutants for these two. Running in the top 10. 5.2 seconds Sam is behind Sherry. So it's the top three to pit. Did Sky get past Clouden? Yes, he did. And he's actually within 7/10 of Simon Blair. So Sky Shundlemeyer in his McLaren trying to get onto the back of the Ferrari then of Simon Blair. And these two as well. 14 seconds off the back of Morton.
Mike's sitting.
But they're trying to obviously get onto the back then of Alex Powell. And it's a long pit lane here, is Zolder. Mike Matthews into the pit. So he's clearly reacting to that of Clouden.
Yeah, it's not as long as Spa.
Gary Leach on the back of Clouden now. So that's a good pit stop for Gary, you know. This could put Gary right on the rear end of Mike Matthews here.
Not bad. It could be quite a good height for BTC Jaeger.
Yeah, the BTC Jaeger boys, they look like they could be having a good one. The Haggis Munchers. Where's Ramy Fernie? He's down the order. So not great for him. Gary 131 then. Sorry, Gary Leach, that's his PSN username. Got a quick Nash behind him trying to unlock themselves. Gary's having a look. Mike Matthews is now away. And he's off his limiter. Wow, he's jumped them an absolute country mile.
He's done then a tipper, hasn't he? Not a bad stop by Mike.
Yeah, that's a great stop. Where's Simon Blair? Oh, Mike! Mike's jumped them up. Mike's jumped Simon Blair and Sky Shundlemeyer. So Sky's looking on the back of Simon Blair, and Mike Matthews has jumped the pair of them and Jamal Clouden. What a stop for Mike Matthews.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where Alex comes out.
Well, where is Alex? On the circuit. He's coming up to the final chicane now. 4 minutes left of the pit window. Does Alex box this lap? No. Goes one more. But for Sky, who's on the rear wing of then Simon Blair, Gary's also trying to attack that of Clouden while Nash is trying to unlap himself. We've then got Williams trying to gain on the back of Sam. It is Overtaker who's got the fastest lap of the race down the order. Let's not forget about the fastest lap point this season. But it is Sky Shundlemeyer. Costa's in the pits. Has Dan Davis pitted yet? No, he's not. Trying to build a gap possibly and go as long as he can.
But that's what I think Alex is trying to do. Goes build a gap. Because at the moment we've got +1 between the timer sectors.
Alex is coming up to that of Joe, who's a back marker, and it's weird to say Alex is coming up behind Joe as a back marker.
Yeah.
You know?
But I got a feeling that will be overtaken with the fastest lap down the 24th. He's done his pit stop and he's moving again.
Costa then in the pit still. Top two didn't pit. Sky Schundelmeyer still attacking the back. Gary's dropped off the back of Clouden, but has let Nash go. Down to Paul Williams. He's getting close to the back then of Sam. This is 0.4 of a second between the Lamborghini and the Aston Martin. Sherry as well. De Hoffner is currently P8 in that lovely sounding Aston Martin V12. So good run for him. Good points for him. Down the pack as well. Dan Davis is in. So Costa is now away. Dan Davis is in. So where is Coutiers, who's currently up in 17th place? Now we have lost a Fizz as a driver that I cannot see on that list. And also I cannot see Paolo. So yeah, Paolo did get disconnected. No, he's not. He's 23rd. Sorry, no, he's 23rd.
He's 23rd.
Right, so here comes Coutiers with Andrew Taylor. Dennis Newman not a million miles away. Dan
Alex
is stationary now. Where is Coutiers then? So wait for Dan's number to change green.
Alex is in.
This is a long stop for Dan, it feels. He's green
Alex
now. So Dan
Alex
goes green. And Coutiers, I believe, has just gone through. Yeah, so does Monkey Boy. And Dennis Newman might as well. Alex goes green. Martin's in the pit. Alex trundling down the pit lane. Is off the limiter now. Mike Matthews has only just exited the final chicane, so I think Mike goes up into second place, but for me, Alex should come out and retain this lead. He's off the limiter. He's going to come round the pit end. Exit line. There he is. And Mike Matthews just behind with 4 minutes to go. Dan Davis come out the pits then. Did Dennis Newman get ahead of Dan? No, he did not. Dan is not a million miles away from Andrew Taylor. Joe now does the fastest lap of the race, but Joe still to pit and has to pit now. He's not going to make it to another lap. He's in.
Yeah, well, they've got to pit now. This is the last lap. They can pit with a minute to go on the window.
Sherry, right on the back, by the way, of De Hoffner, 0.2 of a second. We'll keep our eyes on the other gaps elsewhere as well. Mike only 2.3 off the back of Alex. I tell you what, Mike Matthews hasn't won, I don't believe, on ACC in the GT3s. He won at Suzuka in the GT4s last year. So for Mike, this could be absolutely huge for him.
Huge for SimPlay Racing as well.
Huge for the team, especially when you've got Sky in 4th and Gary in 6th, scoring good team points. De Hoffner looking to hang on to a top 10 finish. He's currently 7th place after Morton pitted. Morton's come out P13. And then behind as well, look, you've got P. Williams and Sam having a little scrap. Dan Davis is going to try and get on the back of Andrew Taylor, but Andrew Taylor's only got to hang on for 2 laps, really. Can he keep Dan Davis at bay? Then you go forward a bit more. Sherry actually getting closer. He's within a 10th now of that of De Hoffner.
Don't leave him alone. Oh, he's all over the back of him.
Got a good run out the hairpin. Looks up the inside into the final chicane. De Hoffner's going to go the long way round. Just gives him enough room. Oh, chop the nose a little bit there, De Hoffner. Nash now does the fastest lap of the race. He's only 3.1 behind Overtaker, so we'll keep our eyes on that battle raging on. But back to De Hoffner and Sherry, because these two have only got Sam and Williams only a couple of seconds behind them. You know, Mike as well has brought that gap down to 1.6 to Alex. So with 2 laps pretty much to go. Where is Alex on the circuit?
He's just lapped one of the better racing boys, either Daz or Dennis. One of the two.
That is.
Who's now right in the way
that was P21, so that is Darren Yo.
He's now right in the way of Mike.
Yeah, he's getting the blue flags. Darren could be doing with moving out of the way. Mike's giving him a flash of the lights. Daz not moving. Daz and Alex have a bit of history as well after Sunday night. Daz now moves out of the way after the hairpin. And Mike, 1.3 to Alex. Well, you know what?
That's closer than that with that camera angle.
One lap here for Mike to attack the back of Alex. Down to Sherry, still on the back of De Hoffner. P. Williams on the back of Sam still. Down the order once more. Borough Bex is on the back of Costa. Did Dan Davis get past Andrew Taylor? He did. No other battles really raging on. So we keep our eyes on these battles at the moment. We're on the final lap. 1.5 seconds for Mike Matthews. Alex needs a clean lap to get to the end here. 0.2 for Sherry on De Hoffner. They're side by side coming into the final chicane. Brakes latest. De Hoffner manages to keep it there. Maybe just got a little tap up the rear end there by Sherry. They are being caught by Sam and Williams. all the time here, constantly being caught. P. Williams on the back.
Side by side
Now
again.
Sherry side by side. Down in towards turn 1. It's Lamborghini versus Aston Martin. The Evo 2 versus the V12. One of the newest cars versus one of the oldest cars. And it's the Lamborghini who goes through and gets that job complete. Sky Schundelmeyer back in P4. He's looking to just try maybe and pounce on the back as Daz bunny hops over the curbs. Mike, though, 1.3 currently off the back of Alex Powell, and Alex really needs to make a mistake with that gap to let Mike through.
Yeah, he does. While I'm watching De Hoffner and Sherry, and De Hoffner's still having a look into the first chicane. Thinks better of it.
Yeah, they've got Sam and Williams gaining on the back of them here as well, but let's go back to the front battle, because we could be about to have 3 winners in 3 races here. It is Alex who is coming to the line at the moment. He retired, well, he DNF'd in race 2 last week, but he comes to the final chicane. Alex has a little moment on the curb, and it is going to be race win of the season. Round 3 goes the way of Alex. P2 for Mike Matthews. Simon Blair will come home for 3rd, with Sky Schundelmeyer 4th. We just wait for that of Clouden. But a good result for Sky there, for Simon Blair, sorry. Clouden then is going to come across the line to take P5. Gary Leach will take P6. P7 is going to go the way of Sherry. Good result for Sherry.
P8 for the oldest car on the grid.
Yeah, P8 for De Hoffner, the oldest car on the grid. 2 debutants inside the top 10. That's not too bad, is it? It will be Sam. It will be P9. P. Williams will be P10. Then it will be Carbel, sorry. He's P11, another new debutant. Martin will be P12. Good result from the back of the grid. Graham will be P13. Not his best, not at his finest moment. Borough Beck's on debut, P14 for him.
Costa 15.
P15 will go the way for Costa on debut. P16 then will go the way of Coutiers, just from Dan Davis, who is going to come across the line, championship leader, down in 17th place. Before Andrew Taylor, who's got a massive trainer, Dennis Newman, who spins him round to the final corner. Dennis Newman is going to let him go.
Yeah, I believe that was Fury there as well.
Yeah, Fury wasn't for position though. So Dennis Newman, 19th place. That then, Luke comes across the line for 20th. Then it was Darren Yeo for 21st. It was Paolo then for 22nd. As I'm just inputting these results. 23rd went the way of Ramy Fernie. 24th the way of Joe. Overtaker 25th. And Nash, fastest lap of the race, but 26th place. De Fizz did not, he started the race but couldn't finish it. Nash down in 26th place. But with the fastest lap, gives him an extra point. We, though, are going to be right back after a short break. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. We're here for round 4 of the season, still at the Circuit Zolder in Belgium. What a chaotic race that was in race 2. Matthew Duffin and PN Motorsport in the commentary box for you this evening on my days, PN. That was a first race.
What a first race. That was chaotic, to say a word.
We are going to speak with our only person on the podium. That is your second place man, Mike Matthews. But before we do, let's run you through the championship. He's not only the second place man, he is the championship leader. Mike Matthews is currently leading the championship, 13 points clear of Dan on Orthodubs as car 14 of Overtaker and Nash are actually the first 2 cars out on track, so this could be interesting. Dan Davis is second place with Gary Leach 29 points behind in third. Joe moves up into fourth with R Nash tied P5 with Luke. Alex Power is P7 after his first ever race win here at SimPlay Motorsport. Clouden is up into P8. Ramy Fernie drops to 9th with Sherry P10. Den Brave down in 11th with Sky Schundelmeyer in 12th. Darren Yo 13th. Coutiers P14. Overtaker is 15th place in the championship with Paolo P16. Graham from Monkey Boy for Andrew Taylor, apologies, 17th and 18th. DeFizz P19 with Losser P20. Darfner is P21 with Sam P22. P Williams, then Clawble Morton P25, Borough Becks 26th with Costa 27th, Simon Blair in 28th, Dennis Newman. In fact, no, that is not right. Why is that not added? Simon Blair's, I've not put his position in. He was P3. So Simon Blair jumps up the table. He's now on 57 points. He's actually moved into P. That knocks Overtaker down. So Overtaker down, moved down 1 spot. Dennis Newman, though, is P29. Garvin, P30 and Tech Leader, P31. The Constructors' table then looks like this. It's SimPlay Racing, 88 points clear of BTC Jaeger, who close in a few points. The Ottinger, then it's the Haggis Munchers from the Ottinger All-Stars. 2 Old Hams, then Red Rum Racing. Then it is JB ahead of Vessa Racing Team, Button Basher Racing, and BDM Motorsport. McLaren take the upper hand once again in the Manufacturers' Championship, 40 points clear of BMW, with Lamborghini in third, Ferrari P4, Porsche are P5 with Mercedes hunting them down. Aston Martin move up to 7th ahead of Bentley, Audi and Honda. We can now, though, speak with Mike Matthews. Mike, it was a chaotic start to that race.
Yeah, God knows what happened between turns 2 and 3, but I come around the corner and next minute there's just cars sideways in front of me. As you've seen on the little clip I sent you, I tried my best to brake and snake my way through it, but I came out with 19 seconds of damage, so which is nothing compared to some of the guys who had to return to pits. Yeah, so yeah, I come off lucky, I think.
Just to mention as well, sorry, just to go over something. Morton, Simon Blair, Sky Schundelmeyer and Dennis Newman all have a qualifying ban. That is why they are not going out on track. You say, though, that the damage compared to others was obviously the cause of a few things and the cause of maybe a bit of slow pace early on. The pit stop, though, was electric.
Yeah, I'm not too bad at the pit stops. It's my starts that I'm weak at, and I managed to absolutely nail starting the engine to when I got dropped, and yeah, I think that gave me the jump over Tibbs.
The jump over Tibbs, over Simon Bear and over Clouden, because you was chasing Clouden down at one stage in the race and looked a good fight.
Yeah, I was slowly gaining on him. Alex was pulling away at that point, so I didn't think I'd be anywhere near Alex, but I managed to at the end. I managed to get past Clouden through the pits. But yeah, 19 seconds of damage was absolutely killing my lap times.
Race 2 coming up. Obviously, you're going to try and be qualifying at the front of the grid. What's your goals in this second race? What can you do?
Survive the first lap, by the looks of it. Yeah, just try and. I don't think I've got the pace of Nash for a win, but you never know. You never know what happens, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Mike, we'll let you get onto it, and best luck race 2.
Cheers, boys.
So at the minute it is Nash from Dan Davis and Overtaker with Paolo P4 just outside that second mark on the timing screen. Actually, Nash just goes a little quick there, so I missed him coming across the line. We're currently watching Dan Davis, the next driver to get across the line before Alex Pow will put his first lap time in. What can Dan Davis do here, PN? Because he's got a lot of work to do to make up points that he's lost in race 1.
He has a bit. Well, at least he didn't retire from the race like he did Paul Ricard in season 1.
Yeah.
Was it season 1?
Yeah, season 1. Alex Powell moves into P11. No, it was season 1.
It was season 2 because it's the first season we had weather, and Paul Ricard was wet.
Nope, he was right the first time.
Ironically, in a Lamborghini.
Was in the Lamborghini. Gary 131 still hasn't got a lap time on the board, so he must have validated something somewhere. We're looking for car number 13, that is Joe. Struggling to see the numbers from up here, so I'm going to have to find a way to raise the monitor. I might change monitors around for the commentary. Joe comes to the line, stays P6 at the moment and backs right off. Car 181. That then is the car of Clarbel. Comes out the final chicane. What is he going to do? It's Overtaker there next to the line after him on a valid lap with Nash just behind. Clarbel stays P10. No improvement there. Overtaker's turn now. What can he do over Nash before car 21 comes to the line? That will be De Hoffner. Here comes Overtaker to the line. Any improvement? I'm not sure because I moved the screen lower down. Yeah, he improves, but stays P3. Stays just behind that then of Dan Davis by 700ths of a second. It is De Hoffner to the line next before Dan Davis comes to the line. So what will De Hoffner do? Dan Davis is just behind. De Hoffner stays P20. What can Dan Davis do? Will he improve anything on this lap? He does. Finds a couple of tenths, but he stays P2. Alex Power 1.8 off the pace. Shoots himself, propels himself up into P5. Who's coming to the back end of the circuit? That is car 35, I do believe. No, that is not. It's 36 of Clouden. And that is Mike Matthews just in front of him. And Mike Matthews moves up to P4. Clouden follows him through up into P5. So good lap from him. Paolo is coming to the back end of his lap. Who's just in front of him? That is Darren Yeo. Keep your eyes on Darren Yeo down in 13th. We're currently on board Paolo. Darren Yeo to the line now. Improves, goes P12. What about Paolo? To the line he comes. Stays in 6th place. Who's that just behind him? That is car 95. And that is Kutias who moves up the order. Car 14 is the next car to the line again. So there's a few drivers here in the pits. Car 14, he has returned back to his garage. It is now car 96 that we need to keep our eyes on. And that is Sam, currently without a lap time on the board here, Pierre.
Yeah, and got Costa behind him on track as well in the 86.
Yeah, the 86 is on an invalid lap on my screen. The next one on a valid one is Dan. Here comes Sam. Goes up to P16. So then it's Dan on his next lap. De Hoffner moves well out the way. It's the 111 of Alex Powell next to get a lap time on the board. Where's Gary 131? I can't see him on the screen yet doing a lap time. Dan Davis to the line now. Is he going to find 3.5 tenths? No, doesn't improve. Alex to the line now. Then it is car 160 of DeFizz just behind him. Alex moves up to P4, finds a bit more time. DeFizz 1.2 off the pole. What can he find here? Nothing. Car 36 is on the next one, I do believe. Gary 131's at the hairpins. We've got aboard Gary 131. That is car 68 just in front of Borough Bex, who goes up. Gary now moves up into P13, just behind Gary. I didn't see who that was. The 95. That is Kutias. Let's see if Kutias can improve now. Currently down in P10. Comes to the line. And stays P10. Next car on a valid lap is 96 of Sam again. Where is Costa, the 86 PN on track? Find that one out for me.
He's behind Sam, coming up to the hairpin right now.
So he's on another invalid lap and only has 6 minutes to put a valid lap out there to make sure he's ahead of those who cannot qualify. A reminder, Sky Schundelmeyer, Simon Blair, Dennis Newman and Martin cannot qualify for this race.
Because they all retired.
Because of retirements, yeah, back last week at Donington Park.
Sam's aborted
Sam
and
returns to pits 21 is the next car. That is the V12 of De Hoffner before the 111 of Alex Powell. We see De Hoffner there down in 22nd just behind Graham. Can he get ahead of Graham in his Aston and Martin V12? Here comes De Hoffner to the line. No improvement. Alex Powell to the line in the V8. No improvement. Then it is the 160 of DeFizz. He's currently P8. Improves, goes P4. Great lap that from the Ferrari driver. Car 36. That is Clouden. Can he improve to get himself ahead of Mike Matthews? No improvement there. Next up is the car number 80. This is Sheary. He'll look for an improvement before the 95. No improvement for Sheary. Kutias then in the 95 before Nash comes to take the pole. Here comes Kutias. Mike Matthews back out on a lap. Kutias to the line. No improvement for him. Nash, no improvement for him. I believe that is Gary 131 at the final chicane. No, that is the 181. Struggling to see from here. So it's the other Porsche, Clarbel. No improvement for him. Who was behind him? I believe that was Joe. Joe down in 9th in qualifying here, PM.
Yeah, and Joe was really handy on the back.
Oh, Nash. Sorry, Nash did improve. Because he was 3 tenths to Dan. It's now nearly 6.
Well, if the Costa's to sort of get his final chicane right, and he will have a lap on the
Overtaker's just improved by a couple of hundreds. Here comes Costa to the line in his red Ferrari.
Red and yellow Ferrari.
Red and yellow Ferrari. To the line goes P23, so that will put all the non-qualifiers to the back of the pack. The next one is 160 to the line, I do believe that says. That will be DeFizz, who's currently P4.
It's not bad pace, is it, for DeFizz?
Not bad pace at all. 3/10. He finds himself ahead of the overtaker here, so let's see if he comes to line. Can he find any more pace? No.
No.
Stays at that. Let's go to car 11. That is Mike Matthews. He's on a flyer currently at the moment, while I'm going to fill in just the bottom part of the spreadsheet. So Sky Schundelmeyer will go then from 24. Simon Blair will go from 25. And Dennis Newman will go from 26. I've already done Martin. Here comes Mike Matthews to the line. Any improvement stays P6. Car 12 of Graham, one of the veterans of SimPlay Motorsport. PN coming to the line.
The king of the East Ender.
Well, it was.
and drinking shandies in the campsite at Donington Park, right?
Orange juices. Here comes Graham, 19th place, needs a bit more pace. He finds a bit more pace, moves up to 18th. It's then Overtaker who's coming to the line. He needs 2 tenths to get himself ahead of Dan. Does he find that 2 tenths this lap? He does. Finds a little more than the 2 tenths as well. Goes 0.08 of a second quicker than Dan. Next car I can see is out of 21, De Hoffner. Now it is 86, of Costa. So can he get ahead of Taylor, who doesn't look like he's going to get out there for one more lap? Needs 7 tenths. He improves, but not enough. Then it is De Hoffner. Then it is 160. That will be DeFizz, who now needs half a second to get ahead of Dan Davis. De Hoffner moves up into the top 20. Here comes DeFizz. I believe then it is car 35 of Darren Yeo. DeFizz doesn't find any more time there. Darren Yeo 1.7 down at the moment. Can he find any time to move inside that top 10? No improvement there for him. Dan Davis, 0.08 of a second. He needs to get himself ahead of Overtaker. Doesn't find it there. It's Sherry just behind him. He stays P17. We're coming to the end of qualifying. Car 44, car 11, that's Mike Matthews, stays P6. As Nash stays P1 and doesn't improve on that lap time. Car 14, because there is a car coming to the line, but I'm not going to find that one in time. I can't quite see it.
All the cars coming to the line are invalid anyway. Looking at the mini
1 minute 45. So Overtaker could get this lap and 2 more. Who's behind him? That is the 73 of Luke. So let's see if Overtaker improves any. No improvement for him. So Luke will not get 1 more lap in. Overtaker will be close to get 2 in. So Luke is on his final run. He stays down in 17th. Next car on a valid lap is 21 of his teammate De Hoffner.
The best sounding car.
It's warm in this house tonight. Warm in the commentary box.
It's warm in general for February.
Yeah, warm for a 15th of February.
It's nearly your case off. I'm going to put the shorts on.
I've got my shorts on. I've got the shorts on. After stage P20, that is then car 35 of Darren Yeo coming back round once again. Behind him, then it will be unorthodox. Darren Yeo needs to find 2 attempts to get ahead of Amy Fernie. Does, moves up to P8. Great lap there from Darren Yeo. Really impressive pace from him there. Dan Davis to the line now. No improvement. Car 11, I believe that is, Mike Matthews next up to the line. They're all starting their final runs. Mike Matthews, does he find any time? He does. That stays down in 6th place. I believe that is the 95 down the order of Coutiers, just ahead of Sam in the Aston Martin. And these guys are all going to get 1 more run in. He stays where he is. Gary Leach. Where is Gary Leach? P13. Yeah, P13 in a minute. Overtaker coming to the line. This one will be touch and go as to whether he gets another lap. He could do with possibly 1 more run. Is he going to get this? This is going to be touch and go. He will get 1 more lap and improves a slight bit. Right. Next driver on a valid is car 21. That is De Hoffner. After De Hoffner, it will be Joe. So De Hoffner currently down in P20. Needs to find 3 attempts to get himself ahead of Graham. Drivers already in the pits. They are done. One of which being Alex Power. And Mike only needs a couple of hundredths to get ahead of him. Here comes De Hoffner. Bit wiggly on the outside curve there. Did that just invalidate it? Yep, he's bailed his lap. So it is Joe. What will Joe do before Darren Yeo? Joe's currently down in P10. Any more time for Joe? No, stays P10. Darren Yeo. Can he break inside the top 5? Not an improvement there. Next up, Dan Davis. Needs a 10th and a half to get himself ahead of Overtaker. What does he have in the locker? No improvement there for Dan Davis. Gary 131 is next. Bit of a shock to see Dan not really find the pace. He's normally a good qualifier.
Yeah, well, you look at some of the field we have this season in Pro.
So this is Gary. Not sure who's just behind Gary. Is that Clouden? I believe it is. So here comes Gary down in P13. He bails on that at the very end. Clouden to the line. Clouden goes... No, that was Ramy Fernie, sorry. That was Ramy who goes P7. So your pole sitter is on Ash. It's an extra
Paolo's
point for
up to
him.
P10.
Paolo did get P10. So Daz 9th. Luke in the end was 17th. De Hoffner was 21st, I do believe. Yep. Then we go down to Gary Leach, was down in 13th place. Ramy Fernie, this is being put in the stats, by the way, I'm not reading the order out differently, is 7th. Andrew Taylor was P22. Graham was P20. Dan Davis only 3rd. Mike Matthews 6th. No, Dan's not 36th. He's 3rd and 6th. Clouden P8. Sherry down in P18. Overtaker 2nd. Paolo up into 10th. Then we've got Alex Powell, who is 5th. Good qualifying from Alex. Joe down in 11th. Wow, that is a poor qualifying for Joe. Joe's normally a good qualifier. Den Brave not here tonight. I can turn that to that colour. Garvin not here tonight.
Final pit's gone in. Make sure you've got one point.
Or Nash, pole sitter once again. So that's 2 race 2 pole positions. P. Williams, 19th place. Didn't really get to see him go around. Coutiers, 12th. De Fizz, qualified P4. Great qualifying from him. Clawball down in 14th. Then we got Borough Bex, 15th. Sam is 16th. No losser. And then Costa brought up 23rd. So that is an extra point for Nash for pole position, and that gives Lamborghini its 2nd pole position. It is now on 65. Next week for the Lamborghini. What a number that could be. That though puts that. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
That puts Lamborghini tied on 2nd place with 65 pole positions with Audi. It is 1 away from 66. So can Lamborghini or Audi get that next week with, by the way, the Aston Martin V8 winning that first race in Alex Powell's hands? That's 6 wins. That puts Aston Martin ahead of the Renault from the Project Cars 2 days. And it is now 2 wins behind the Ginetta from GT4 last season as well as Project Cars 2. And 3 behind the Chevrolet, all of GT4 this season. Right, PN, race 2 winner.
Hard to look past Nash. Now he's going to have a clear track in front of him. In theory, you should just disappear into the distance. In theory. So, I'm going to go for the pink Lambo. And, well, you think after the update that adds the Nordschleife to Assetto Corsa Competizione, when we eventually get it on console, we might have the Ford and Chevy.
When it comes out in general, we'll know what we'll get when it comes out in general. You know, let the PCs have it and we'll know. Because it's not just the Ford and Chevy, it's also the Aston Martin V8 Evo.
Yeah, which looks really fantastic. Works colours.
We know the GT2 pack will come to ACC. When, we're not sure. For the PS5, it's already out on PC. But when that comes, we know we're getting the Red Bull ring with the GT2 cars. And then when we get the Nordschleife, which we know is coming again, the rumours are Ford Mustang, the Corvette, and the Aston V8. Corvette is the outside rumour. What looks more confirmed is the Aston V8 Evo and the Ford Mustang. The Corvette is an outside rumour, but it was used for the Daytona 24. I believe it's been used in a couple, or it's going to be used in the American GTs this season.
There's some in Bathurst as well. I believe there's a couple in Bathurst. Jamie Brazier will tell you the entry is for Bathurst.
Jamie will know.
Jamie will know. As he says, evening all in chat.
Good evening, Mr. Brazier. It's great to see you around. Right, PN, you're going Nash. I'm going to go Dan Davis.
Yeah, You see that?
45 minutes. The track temp is down to 13 degrees.
By the end of this, it'll probably be about 11.
Oh, can you imagine? Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button, hit the bell to be notified when we are live, and hit that big red subscribe button, as well as take a look at our fantastic sponsors in the description. Bozzy Designs, our brand new sponsor, who's brought us all these fantastic overlays. Design Manchester will bring you any customisable mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, keyrings, you name it, Mike, they can make it. And Audio Sport for all their T4 camper van. I really need to learn of what Kelly does, because I always read it and forget it on the night. We, though, PM, are about to go green and go.
Yeah, it's green.
There we go.
Go.
It is green and go for race 4 here in the Pro Series. Nash already comes across to cover the overtaker, chopping the nose off. Overtaker has to give a wide berth through turn 1, and it is Nash already who leads the way in towards his first couple of corners. Dan Davis has got himself ahead of Overtaker, but Overtaker took him back up the inside into turn 2. Side by side, the old rivals go here at SimPlay Motorsport, and Danny's very wide as Overtaker's coming through. These top 3 have already gapped a Fizz further down the pack, and it all looks clean this time through turn 3. There's to Fizz, Mike, Alex, Ramey, Jay Cloud, and Darren Yo, Paolo, Joe, Clauble. There's a few changes being made at the moment. That is the grid order updating itself. There's a lot of congestion coming into the first chicane. Everybody does look through okay. Everybody readied up. And that is Matthews in the gravel. And another car in the background is off. He's had a few taps, a bigger tap and a bigger tap. As who's that up from? That looks like Darren Yo's going side by side down towards the Villeneuve chicane. That is Joe across it. Dan Davis has fell into the path of the Fizz, and Alex Power is right there, but it is Nash comfortably ahead of Overtaker. Dan Davis, has he had a problem somewhere? Because he's dropped right off the back.
He has he missed a gear or well, it's not really possible. It's a sequential gearbox these days unless your gearbox is dying.
As the camera pans round, Darren Yo looking side by side there with Ramey Fernie down the back straight. They come towards the final chicane. That one looks like it's been put to bed, but already battles happening. De Fizz looking on the back of Dan. He's got Alex Powell, Joe and Clouden right with him. Then it's a gap back to Ramey with Paolo.
Coutier's is off.
In fact, no, that's Coutier's off. Sorry, Paolo. Where's Darren Yo dropped? He's dropped down a couple of places according to the time screens. That's fixed itself back out there. No Corvette at Bathurst. There is a Mustang, though, says Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Mike Matthews. Then it's Paolo. Paolo's just lost out to Gary Leach. Then it's Borough Bex. Coutier's! Oh, him and Luke have had a hit!
Oh, it's pro. It's starting to look very pro-alley.
It is indeed, as that is Andrew Taylor, I do believe, getting past Sam. Now Dennis Newman's looking up the inside of Sam towards turn 3, gets it done before turn 3. It is Clauble, Sherry and Williams all in the pits. Clauble is now away, pit window not yet open, and it is Martin who set the fastest lap of the race, but Alex Powell putting De Fizz under some immense pressure here, who's got Joe side by side, bouncing all over the grass towards the Villeneuve chicane. Here comes Alex Powell up the inside of Joe. Joe has to take to the gravel, and Alex Powell will keep his nose here for the next part of it, and Alex back up into P5 ahead of Joe. Changing places all over. Joe running wide onto the grass again as he tries to keep it side by side with Alex. He'll have the outside line for the hairpin corner. Here comes Joe to the outside, and you're not going to get it done there. Alex can easily take his line.
Yeah, well, Alex buoyed by his first race win here at SimPlay. It'll probably help him in ARL as well on Sunday.
Riled up, Ramey Fernie now on the back of Joe in this one, and bringing Darren Yo, Mike Matthews, Clouden and Gary Leach all with him. So your top 3, Nash from Overtaker from Dan. Dan doesn't seem to have the pace of the top 2. Overtaker doesn't seem to have the pace of P1. Then it is De Fizz, kind of on his own, as now there's Alex Powell. Then Joe under pressure from Ramey Fernie here. Then as they come in, Joe looks like he's got damage up the rear end of his car. And Ramey Fernie now right on the back of Joe's BMW M4 here, as they come through towards turn 3.
Yeah, just confirming, Jamie, that it's the Mark now, Mustang, not a Ford. Got holding off tips. I mean, Sky.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Dennis Newman still on the back of Andrew Taylor. That is Simon Blair, and B. Morton, who had qualifying bans with Dennis Newman and Sky Shungelmeyer. Coming through the pack, who is the last one in the pits? Pete Williams in the pits. He had a big clout turn 1. Let's go back to the front then. Alex Powell's coming under pressure once again from Joe here in his Red Room Racing BMW.
We've lost the driver. We're down to 26. Who's gone?
I'm not sure who that is. It's not De Fizz again, is it? No, he's still there. He's in front. Paolo's still there as well. Not sure who we have lost.
I believe it's Cutias.
Cutias. Right, so that'll possibly be a retirement. We'll have to see what happened there. Joe really hassling the back of Alex Powell now. Them two were squabbling earlier that caused a few other problems down the road. Look, B. Morton is trying to get past Luke. In fact, he's got Luke on his rear end. Back to Joe, though, who's looking up the inside of Alex Powell into two. Smokey, Ramy Fernie's going to try and go the longer way around. Can't get it done. He's on the grass. That's going to allow Darren Yeo the opportunity to have a look. Oh, bit of a wiggle from Darren there. Gets himself ahead of Ramy. Ramy now tucks back underneath. Was the contact between the two? Great slide from Daz. He holds on to it. Now Mike Matthews. Oh, he's put Daz in the wall.
Oh, major hit by Daz.
And Daz, I believe, caught Clouden.
That's a massive hit.
Daz has returned to pits. There's a stop-go penalty for Williams. Not sure
in
why.
The pit lane.
But Daz has returned to pits. He's not even drove it round. Alex Powell has to cut the chicane this time. And now Clouden coming under pressure from Paolo and Boardbecks. Oh, there's been some incidents here today.
It's quite a lot of damage on the front of Clouden's McLaren.
Yeah, I think he caught Daz when Daz bounced off the wall. I don't think that was Daz's fault. Clouden's gone deep at the hairpin. Paolo gets up the inside. I think him on for the carrots there, and I do believe that Boardbecks is going to get past Clouden as well. Clouden fighting a losing battle. Tibbs in the background looks like he's got damage to the front of his car as well. And did Clouden go into the pits there? He did, yes. What about Sky? He carries on his way. Then it's to Hoffner, Andrew Taylor, Dennis Newman, Sam, Big Train, Simon Blair, Martin, Luke, Costa, Graham. He's got damage to the front of his BMW. Then it is Clarble, Darren Yeo, Sherry, P. Williams, who needs to come back out of the pits, remember, to score points, otherwise it will go down as a retirement. Like PN said, we have lost a car. It is Nash, who is out front on his own doing the business. 4.2 seconds clear.
Yeah, and pulling away quite comfortably from Overtaker.
Yeah, he is indeed. So Joe putting the pressure back on then, that of Alex Powell. Let's tumble down the order a little bit. Sam looking to have Simon Blair come up his inside at turn 3. Job done for Simon Blair. That is a move complete. And he's now going to look on the back of Dennis Newman as well, and cannot get that move done. Clouden's in the pits. Martin's in the pits. Williams still in the pits. Darren Yeo, well, his night goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, it does. Oh, well, I expect we're not going to give you into that later. Just saying.
It's going to be busy in the steward's room today, I feel. There's Fury right up the gearbox now of the Aston Martin, the race 1 winner. One-time winner here at SimPlay. Oh, he jinks out massively there. Did Fury. He's got past Alex. But that was a big jink from Fury there. He nearly lost the car. He's gone deep at the second part of the chicane. And Alex now can try and fight his way back through. They're still side by side, is Joe and Alex. They've got Ramy Fernie right behind them watching on. Alex is going to try and go to the outside. Joe with damage to the rear of that BMW. Now looks like he has the move finished. Yes, he does, but Joe did not look comfortable there when he pulled that car out.
But Doctor Who's in the pits as well. I mean, Luke.
Alex now under pressure from Ramy Fernie. Mike Matthews down in 8th, not really making the progression down the order. Andrew Taylor trying to get past Hoffner here. Good run for Andrew Taylor, up in 14th place, better than last week. Dennis Newman has actually just gone up the inside of Simon Blair. So these two having a bit of a scrap. Simon Blair trying to tuck back underneath through turn 2, gets it done through turn 2. Bit of wheel banging there, not short. Simon Blair then, the Scotsman versus the German. Through turn 3 they go, and that is as it stands.
Alex has dropped off. Fernie's thrown around the outside to the inside into Villeneuve. I think, yeah. He's lost the rear end.
Yeah, lost the rear end, and Fernie's gone.
And Mike's like, thank you, mother, for the carrots.
Dennis Newman and Sam and I believe Simon Blair was all nearly 3 wide there. The camera's not picking them up. I don't know what happened. There is Dennis Newman. Right, so Martin in the pits. Luke is in the pits. We've lost another driver. We've just lost Luke. Williams is back out. Daz is in the pits. Martin's in the pits. So that will go down as a retirement for Luke. Not sure who the other retiree driver is yet. I believe it's Cutias.
I believe it's Coot, yes. I can't see him on the timing board.
So that will be no points for Luke in this one. For De Hoffner in this one, sorry. No, was it Luke? No, yeah, it was Luke. De Hoffner's still going, so there'll be no points for Luke and no points for Kuchers. And we'll have to investigate into that. That could be qualifying bans for next week. Alex Powers lost out to Mike Matthews, as we said, and Remy Fernie now is down in 11th place with even more damage to his car. Gary Leach has got Paolo coming on the back of him. But it's Andrew Taylor who's just got past De Hoffner. De Hoffner going to try and come back underneath. Can't get it done there. And De Hoffner now coming under pressure from Simon Blair. 35 minutes left in this race. The pit window opens at about the 30-minute mark. It's been a great race so far, PM. Plenty of drama, plenty of action.
Plenty of chaos, again. I think it's also the nature of the circuit, because the walls are quite close here.
Oh, De Hoffner having a look on Monkey Boy into the chicane. That straight line speed of the Aston V12 just helping it, but didn't get alongside enough.
I tell you what, at Monza and Spa,
yeah,
that Aston's got to be strong.
That could be very strong around Monza. Simon Blair trying to attack De Hoffner here then into the Villeneuve chicane. Can't get it done, just touches the grass a little bit. That'll be a bit of respite for De Hoffner this lap.
Tell you what, Dan is like nearly 9 seconds behind overtaker.
Dan's struggling at the minute. Dan's struggling out there. He's not got the pace of the top two. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. Remy Fernie trying to get on the back of Borough Bex, who's trying to also hunt down that of Paolo, who's lost out to Gary a little bit here.
And to reply to Ian Gray in YouTube chat earlier, so you can hear us.
Yes,
Remy Fernie is Leon Fernie's dad.
Remy Fernie's just gone down the inside. Bit of contact made with Borough Bex. He gets the move done. Now Sky Schundelmeyer will have a look into turn 2 with damage to the front end of his car. Sky Schundelmeyer looks like he'll try and get the move done on Borough Bex as well. Through they go, and Borough Bex loses 2 places in 2 corners. No, still side by side as they come into turn 3. Here comes Borough Bex round the outside of Tibbs and keeps that move. There is a yellow flag waving. Car 35 is stopped. I do believe at the end of the pit lane. Go on the onboard view, PN, and tell me what you can see.
Right.
So Sky Schundelmeyer at the minute on the back of Borough Bex once again. Further behind we've got Simon Blair on the back of De Hoffner. Sam's trying to catch Costa. I don't think Daz is in a pit box there, because that's right on the turn 1 corner.
I'm still trying to get to him. Driver select.
Joey's now gaining on the back of De Fizz. De Fizz having a cracking drive at the moment. Overtaker 5.9 behind Nash. Dan.
Come on, guy.
Oh, Dan's there. Dan, no pace really from Dan. 8.7 off the back of Overtaker. And De Fizz is only 1.9 off the back of Dan here.
Won't let me select him at the moment. Hang on. I've got a better idea. I'll look on the stream.
Sky Schundelmeyer still close to the back then of Borough Bex as they come in towards turn 1. Through they go.
Daz is not live. Yeah, there he is.
Simon Blair has got Costa on the back of him. Look at this for a gaggle of cars behind De Hoffner. It is De Hoffner, Simon Blair, then Costa, then Sam Monk. Andrew Taylor's not been able to pull away much here.
Daz is not moving in the pit lane. He's in his box by the look of things, because it was counting down control slot.
Interesting. He looks well out of his box there, to be fair. The dot on the track now, that's Morton in a wall! Where is Morton? He's a lap down. And has just bounced in the wall. He's got huge damage. He's keeping it on the grass. Manages to keep it out of trouble there, but whew, that'll be some big damage to his car. And don't forget a retirement for him. He's already had 2 retirements. A retirement for him will be minus 25 points, as it will for Dennis Newman for a 3rd retirement. And we currently have
again.
Andrew Taylor. Yeah, the yellow flags have gone. The only yellow flag now was for that of Morton at the Villeneuve chicane, who stopped the car. Well, he needs to finish this race. 1 more retirement, and that is, like we say, minus 23 points. We're going to have to jump forward as Joe is trying to tuck underneath this then of De Fizz. He's got Mike Matthews with him as well. No, that is no longer Mike Matthews. That is Clouden. Mike's 3.5 seconds behind. Where's Clouden? Clouden's a lap down. So Clouden's trying to unlap himself. De Fizz just touches the gravel a little bit. Overtaker's lost even more time to Nash, and Dan's pulled a bit of time back. Dan's actually gapped that of De Fizz, And Joe to the outside of the Fizz through the first chicane. Oh, Joe up and over the curb. Was that within the limits there?
We've lost another driver.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We have lost another driver. Who have we lost? That is Morton. No, Morton's there.
Morton's
no, we're
still
not.
there.
We've still got 25 drivers. We're down to, we lost 2. Coutiers and Luke, 27.
Yeah, I can't count.
So Joe looking all over the bay. In fact, no, Joe's just got past the Fizz. Paolo is still on the back of Remy Fernie. Down the Orden, Sky Schundelmeyer still on the back as well. But back to De Hoffner. He's got Simon Blair and Costa and Sam all with him. And Andrew Taylor's not pulled away here. Dennis Newman's 11 seconds off this pack. He could, catch a bit here.
He could. It's Burrow-Bex.
Oh,
backwards.
that's, yeah. So Burrow-Bex was having a fight with Sky. He's now backwards. And is there anybody going to be in the pits? Who has gone back to the pits? That is car 87. So that is Martin. Probably the sensiblest thing to do. He's got to get back out there, though.
Gary's pitty.
Gary,
already.
First man in the pits. That's possibly a good tactic.
Get out of the way while the pit lane's still relatively empty. It's not a bad strategy, that one.
Not a bad strategy at all. Sam has also came in, as is Sheary. Oh, De Hoffner's on the gravel. Simon Blair's going to come through, and Simon Blair's going to take another place. Easy as you like, Max Mulder. Get them, Sky. You're way better. He says in the chat, good evening to Max Mulder. Sky's teammate pits from P11. He'll tumble down the order, but we've also got Sam, Dennis Newman, Graham in the pits. Sheary's also in there. Morton, we know, is in the pits. Darren Yeo still to pit, as is P. Williams, who carries on his way. Darren Yeo, with Morton, I suppose, returning to his pit box, this could give Darren Yeo the chance to maybe... He has, look, he's just got ahead of Morton, so that's a couple more points.
Yep.
Oh, he's in the way of Fury at the minute. Not getting out of the way of the leaders here. He does now.
Pete, we can't interview the Xbox drivers. It really is.
We'll have to sort something out with the Discord. Dennis Newman is in. Clawball comes in now, as does Burrow-Bex. He's got some damage, I imagine, to the front of that car. Let's see it pan around. As Dennis Newman is away. Yeah, big damage to the front of that car. Right, so Nash leads this race. He carries on, as does Overtaker, as does Dan. Joe as well. DeFizz, Mike Matthews, Alex Powell, they all carry on. Ramy Fernie does. Paolo does. Sky Schundelmeyer now into pit lane. Andrew Taylor stays out. What about Simon Blair? So does he. De Hoffner as well. Costa. He's fell off the back of this train a little bit as Costa.
Yeah, he stays out for another lap. So Gary's the first of the pitters.
Yeah, Sky's in. I reckon Sky might be repairing some damage in the pits. Gary's nice clean Porsche for the BTC Jaeger Racing team. Looks like he'll be the lead of the pit runners at the moment.
Graham's away and off the limiter now.
Clarball's away as well. Looks like he's got ahead of Graham. Sheary.
Oh, he hit the wall.
Who did?
Graham. He clipped the inner wall on the pit lane.
Graham fixing damage, getting damage. Comes out behind his arch nemesis from years ago. Gary 131. He slows right down to let Gary through. And Graham carries on his way. Simon Blair now on the back of Graham's teammate, Monkey Boy, Andrew Taylor. Don't forget, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when we're live, and hit that thumbs up button as well if you like what you see here. Simon Blair, at the minute, trying to hunt down Andrew Taylor. He had a qualifying ban, let's not forget. Him, Dennis Newman, Morton and Sky all had a qualifying ban for retirements. And Gary, look, does come out ahead of Sky, so he is still the lead car in the pits. Mike Matthews in the pits now. Sky didn't repair.
No, his front bumper is still a bit skew.
Car must be okay then. That's all I can imagine. Simon and Andrew stay out. De Hoffner stays out as well. There's one of the closest fights on track. Overtaker is 15.5 seconds behind Nash. Dan has got the gap down to 2.7.
Yep. Mike's in his pit box now. He's down and away. He's done.
He'll be out way before Gary. He's already off his limiter. So there goes Mike. Ramy Fernie's gone through. Paolo's gone through. Andrew Taylor and Simon Blair's gone through. So has De Hoffner. So has Costa. So Mike will now be the lead car who has pitted. The next one will be Gary, but Gary's just coming through turn one. So back to DeFizz. DeFizz catching Joe. Dan catching Overtaker at the moment. In fact, back to Andrew Taylor and Simon Blair. This is the closest fight on circuit. Bex is out on track. Daz still out there. Williams still out. Morton's still in the pits. Well, Morton's got to get out there. Otherwise, that will be a third retirement and minus 25 points. Simon Blair up the inside into the Villeneuve chicane. Gives each other room. Monkey Boy back up the inside now. Simon, no, backs out of it. Good fight between Simon Blair and Andrew Taylor here.
We must remember, Simon Blair's returning. He did F1 with us, what, a couple of seasons?
Yeah. When we did the first F1 season, that's where the Nuts was in. Obviously, he did the PS5 season, so...
And Project Cars 2.
Here to make a full season of the main series. Andrew Taylor's in. Simon continues on his way. De Hoffner comes in as well. What about Costa? So Mike's just behind Costa, so Mike will pass Andrew Taylor here.
Well, I thought of a way we'd do the interviews if I was going to take over the broadcast on the Xbox.
Yeah, we'll just either that or
Discord. It'd be nice to actually interview the Xbox.
Well, we'll have to work on that. Excuse me.
And as there's more in Pro than there is in Pro-Am.
So Mike Matthews comes through then, and is the lead car on the pit stops. Obviously it's Nash who leads the way. He is flying from Overtaker, who's got Dan within 2.5 seconds here. And for Dan, it's a chance now to rebuild what he lost in race 1, isn't it?
Yep, as Taker stays out, Dan stays out. What does Joe do? Joe stays out.
Can Joe catch Dan here and put... But you've done a bit of a headache, I wonder.
You know he's going to. And he'll want to, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
With
Joe's running independent, so he's got nothing to lose. He's going to fight for every position.
Exactly, and he's buoyed by that season we had on the PS5, that little mini season.
He's currently, the PS5 defending champion.
And GT4 champion. Defending GT4
champion. Now obviously he's not having to defend
and Carrera Cup. It was a fine series.
Looking to win Pro. Costa has Mike Matthews right up the back of him, and probably sensible for Costa to not lose time. He's gone into the pits, and that releases Mike Matthews then, who is still then the lead car in the pits. Gary's 12.7 behind, but Gary is second place in terms of the pit runners. Down the order, Darren Yo still not pitted. Pete Williams now comes in, and Morton still in the pit box. You've got to complete 75% to be classified as finished.
He's 10 laps down, so he's not 75% of the race, is it? However many laps. Yeah. On average, it's probably gonna be... I can't remember how many laps we did on Pro-Am last night. That'll be the acid test. Okay, we lap a little bit slower because one of you has a restrictor on weight, Matt. Right, Taker's in. Taker is in the pits.
Right, so Taker's in. What will he be able to do?
No, but he's got a little bit of damage on his front splitter.
Yeah,
looking at that McLaren.
Chicane hard.
And it's upset tyre pressures, maybe?
Possibly.
But Dan stayed out, Joe stayed out, the Fizz stayed out, as is Alex, as is Rainy Fernie, Paolo's in, and Simon Blair's in.
Yep, so Simon Blair in. Mike Matthews will easily come past him. Gary 131 might as well. Sky Shuttle might actually. Within a tenth, who's that around? I believe that's Sheary at the first chicane. That was before Tibbs and De Hoffner got there. Sheary is running down in P21, so that's not going to help him. It'll help Borough Bex. And Joe and De Fizz are actually coming up to lap Tibbs and De Hoffner. So for Sky, down the order. Right, Overtaker's away. Where's Mike Matthews? Mike was nowhere near Overtaker. So Overtaker's away. Paolo is away. He's leaving pit lane now. Where's Gary Leach? Gary Leach comes through. Where's Paolo actually going to appear? There's Gary. There's Cloud on the lap down. There's Paolo. So Paolo stays ahead of Sam, who's a bit further back. Back to the Schundlmeyer De Hoffner battle. Sky now looks up the inside into the final chicane. Cannot get the move done.
One of the newest cars, again, racing the oldest car on this grid, because we've got no Jaguar that year.
Now Sky to the outside line, as I think Joe has gone into the pit lane. He has indeed. Sky to the outside of De Hoffner. Goes the long way round. That's a good move from Sky. That is a great move from Sky. Moves himself up into P14 now.
Yep.
Joe and Fernie in the pits. Where's Overtaker? He will easily be ahead of both.
He's 8 seconds up the road to Mike.
Oh, where actually is Joe? Joe is stopped. Ramey comes in now. So yeah, Overtaker will be through. Mike should be through, you'd imagine. So drive down pit lane. It's going to be interesting to see where Gary possibly is to these two. Because it looks like, to me, Joe's having a long stop here.
I believe they're repairing damage. Fernie's away.
Yeah, so Fernie's had a quicker stop than Joe. Where's Gary? Gary's coming into the last chicane, so I think Ramey comes off the limiter now. So Overtaker's through, Mike is through. Gary Leach
Joe's
will
away.
not be, but Gary Leach has got ahead of Joe. So Joe's lost a lot of time there repairing damage.
It still looks like there's a little bit of rear end damage on his BMW.
Changing tyres maybe for Joe?
Maybe, because I did notice the tyres did start feeling a bit dead towards the end of the race.
Is that the right call though? Because, you know, he did that back on the PS5 version last year when it was an hour race. This is only 45 minutes, so for Joe, you know, you just wonder, was that the right decision last year? Yeah, last season on the hour race it worked. This season, is it worth the gamble? Personally, I don't think it is.
The fizz is in.
Well, the fizz is now going to react to Joe.
Alex Powell stays out. There's about 4 minutes left of the window, so
Yeah,
Nash, Davis,
We've got a couple of laps.
Alex, Yo, and well, Martin, I think, is retirement.
Yeah, I think Martin is retirement.
He's 12 laps down now, so
closest fight on the track. Not really sure at the minute. He's kind of back markers here. We're on board with Darren Yo. We've got Sherry just behind. So De Fizz is now away. Overtaker's through. Mike will pass him on his exit. That is Darren Yo, I believe, now in the pits. Now that's Dennis Newman back in. So Dennis Newman's back in the pits. Not sure what's happened there to Dennis. Will Ramey Fernie get ahead of De Fizz? De Fizz, no. He's well away. Oh!
Nash stays out for another lap.
So Mike Matthews moves up to P4 overall. He's ahead of De Fizz. I think he jumped De Fizz there, hasn't he? He's jumped De Fizz and Joe. There's Mike Matthews. He wasn't ahead of them on track. So I believe he jumped ahead of them.
Dan stays out. Still with 21 seconds behind Nash. Alex stays out. Yo to pit for his pit stop, and Martin's out. He's retired. 13 laps down. Oh, Daz is in.
Daz is now in. Dennis Newman pitted. He's dropped down to 20th place now. We've not really got any battles on track. Sherry's just got 64 seconds to Dennis, actually. Daz, a lap ahead of Williams.
Oh, Martin's moving.
Oh, well, there we go.
Well, Martin's moving.
Well, then if he's got proof of a long pit stop, he'll be okay. But if, you know, he's got to have proof of that pit stop, hasn't he? He's got to provide the evidence. The stewards will want to ask about that. So he's got to come back into this race.
He's coming out of the pit lane, so maybe he had a call on nature.
Nash is in. Nash is in. Right. Dan giving Sam an almighty flash.
This Nash guy is pretty good, isn't he? He's really good.
Not bad in the dry, is he? Not bad in the dry. Although, to be fair, he wasn't bad race 2 in the wet last year. Dan coming up some traffic as Sam. Dan giving another flash. Dan decides to box as well. So Nash come up to traffic, he's pitted. Dan's come up to traffic, he's pitted. We're coming up towards 8 o'clock race time now. And you have to say here that this... Oh, who's car 30? That's Daz.
Daz.
He's got a stop-go penalty. Alex comes up to traffic. He now pits as well. So where is Overtaker? This is crucial for second place. Nash is already away and moving. What is Dan doing?
Taker's at the hairpin.
Dan's not even in his box yet. Who's the 86? That's Costa. I believe that's possibly track limits.
Yeah, he's
so Costa with a drive-through stop-go penalty as well. Dan's still not away. He's dropped now. Overtaker's coming round towards turn 1. When's Daz off his limiter? Now. Oh, Dan versus Overtaker.
Close.
This will be mightily close. You see Dan there, round the
Alex is
outside.
moving.
Here comes Dan. Here comes Overtaker. Let's go on board with Dan. Can we see Overtaker's car? Has
That's
Dan
a
jumped
split.
him? Dan has jumped him. Dan has jumped him. We've lost Daz Automatic from the race, so that'll be a retirement.
But
Tell
Dan
you what,
with
Pro, we're having some retirements this season.
Dan with staying out longer
Martin,
than.
back in the pits again. Apologies, PM. But like you say, Dan staying in the pits longer. Well, he's got the jump on Overtaker.
Martin's probably now doing this mandatory stop.
Oh yeah, possibly so. Possibly so, yeah. Costa stop-go penalty. Daz retired after getting a stop-go penalty, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Points mean prizes, and these drivers who don't finish,
The window is now closed.
you know...
And penalty points don't mean a prize.
Well, no, you don't get penalty points for retirements, but Daz is now 2 retirements away from 25, docked points. In terms of Vesa Racing as a team, that is 3 retirements as a team, 2 from Dennis last week, 1 from Daz this week. That is not constructors' points. But the closest battle actually on the track is Monkey Boy trying to hunt back down after De Hoffner on the outside of turn 2. Drive through for track limits, car 81. That is now Paolo.
They're happening. They're probably taking liberties in the chicanes.
Possibly push it. Villeneuve, I thought, was the one to get the track limit warnings on.
Well, yeah, because the first chicane you could launch the car.
Let's go. Sky says Tracy in the chat. Well, Sky is 7 seconds behind Sam. Sam is 6 seconds behind Simon Blair. And Paolo's got a drive through, so that could help Sky out a little bit. But Andrew Taylor, we're currently watching on the back. And Paolo was catching Gary.
Yeah, I'm watching Dan starting to pull away from Overtaker.
Yeah, that gap's up to 1.5 seconds. I reckon if you're right, you said Overtaker had a bit of damage. I wonder if he has, and that's affected him. Dan then. Great tactic. How far's Mike to Overtaker? 9.6. That's doable with 13 minutes, although he's not made inroads since their pit stops.
Not yet, but it could be doable.
Stop go cleared for... It is doable. It's very doable. Stop go cleared for Costa. Paolo in for his drive-through.
Is Overtaker struggling?
Possibly so. Drive-through cleared for Paolo. Joe, by the way, who's running 4th, is down in 9th. 7 seconds off the back of Gary. Here comes Andrew Taylor looking up the inside of De Hoffner in the V12. Up the inside goes Andrew Taylor. De Hoffner's still going to have that inside line then for turn 2. Keeps hold of it well.
I was just watching Joe leave Sparks going over for first chicane. Because now is that the sun's setting, you're going to start seeing the sparks a bit more.
You're going to start seeing them sparks. Noticed that on track last night. Andrew Taylor right behind De Hoffner. A bit of a wiggle mid-corner through 3. And that's going to allow De Hoffner to just ease up a little bit. Ian in the chat. It's the second chicane. It's so close between getting the line and cutting the limits, especially if you're trying to close the gap between the driver in front of you and brake too late. Indeed it is, and that's where all the track limits really are. But it's Andrew Taylor who's let off De Hoffner a little bit. He's got a bit of breathing space. Dan to Overtaker, 1.7 seconds now. Mike to Overtaker, it was 9.3 a moment ago. Well, it's not coming down at the moment. It's 10.3, so I think Overtaker's comfortably going to finish P3 here.
Yeah, if anything else happens.
Here comes Andrew. He's going to do a sooty send it. Like his teammate, but side by side with De Hoffner, who gets a poor run out of the hairpin. And Andrew Taylor up the inside. Well, that's a sooty send it if I've ever seen one. And he moves himself now up into P14. Behind them, Clouden on Clairble, coming down towards the Villeneuve chicane. McLaren versus Porsche. Martin still in the pits.
Yeah, I think Mark.
He is now 15 laps behind.
That's definitely the less than 75% of the race. You look at this. So that will be a quali ban for him again next week as Clouden looking around the outside of Clairble. At the hairpin, can't get it done. No. So that is 4 retirements today. 1 in race 1 with De Fizz. We're not sure what happened there. We will ask him. He stayed in for this one, so that may have been internet problems. And then we've had 3 retirements in this second race. Clairble deep at the final chicane. And Clouden's not going to want a second invitation. Through he goes.
That is P16 for Clouden at the moment. Where's the closest fight on track? It's probably back with Monkey Boy, Andrew Taylor and Hoffner. Clouden's too far back. Overtaker 1.4 to Dan Nash. Fastest lap, leads the race, pole position. It's a clean sweep in this second race. We had 1 retirement to DeFizz in race 1. We're not sure if it's internet problem. We've had 3 in race 2. Last week we had 6 retirements. Dennis Newman and Morton both races. That's going to be 25 points deducted for Morton. In Pro-Am, I think we've had 2 retirements. Storenson and Max Mulder yesterday. So the pro drivers need to know they've got to finish races here. Joe was a moment ago 7 seconds behind Gary Leach. He's now 1.1 behind Gary Leach with 10 minutes to go. So Joe is charging. PN's throwing glasses.
Oh, yeah, I just heard that go down. I don't even know where that is. What the hell was that? Something just lost balance and I've probably been there for ages and just decided I'm going to fall off now.
Joe, right up the rear wing of Gary Leach. We saw these two battle so much on the PS5 series in the at the back end of the year last year. And they're doing it once again. 4 tenths is the gap. Is this because did Joe change tyres? Is this Joe changing tyres? That he's now... Other drivers in the last 10 minutes, their tyres are starting to go off and Joe's got fresh tyres. The problem with that is he too far back to really mount a podium challenge? Someone's in the pits. That is Clauble. So that could allow Graham and Dennis Newman and maybe Sherry to get an extra place. Joe, right up the rear wing of Gary 131, pulls out up the inside into turn 1. Gary gives Joe the space. Oh, bit of a bump. Bit of a bump, Gary to Joe. And they both carry on their way. What's Joe doing here? Now Joe's just bumped. That's very Sebastian Vettel. Oh, Joe's giving him the place back. Right. So did Joe feel that he's understeered into Gary and has given Gary the place back? Well, good respect there from Joe.
Hang on, we've missed it. Overtakers in front of Dan.
By 6 seconds. 5 seconds. What has Dan done? Dan was 1.7 in front. Gary, big wiggle. Has Dan got damage?
Dan's made a mistake. Pit lane reporter Jamie Brazier has just said.
Down to Ted Brazier. Jamie Kravitz. What a guy.
Who else used to do it? Jamie Allen. Susie Perry.
Louise Brazier. 181. Who is that? That is Clauble. Stop go penalty. Speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to investigate, see what fell off then. That bugs me when things do that.
Gary and Joe are having an almighty fight here. Joe looks at the final chicane again. Can't get through. And I know Joe and Gary well. They'll be relishing this fantastic scrap. They really will. Dan's gained 4 tenths overtaker already. Gary pulls to the racing line. Joe's now got up the inside again. He went deep here last time and caught Gary. And he gave Gary the place back this time. Not the same dramas. Joe goes through on Gary 131. And now goes deep at turn 2 and Gary's going to tuck back underneath Gary 131 and here back comes Gary over Fury over Joe, sorry, excuse me, still side by side. No, Joe keeps it in front as they come into turn 3. Great fight, great scrap. Dan loses 2 tenths in the next sector to overtaker. So what did Dan do? But Nash, by the way, Nash is at turn 2. Overtaker's not even at the final chicane. He is flying.
Yeah, Nash is gone. Just cleared out, and there's been drama in Discord, which I won't repeat on stream.
Sky Schundelmeyer has got past Sam. That is Graham and Costa. Costa's a lap down. Clauble's in for a stop-go penalty. Costa's got past him. Oh, Borobex is in the wall.
Yeah, I believe Graham's got a lot of damage. Yeah, look at his front bumper, bonnet. His bonnet's up in the air.
Oh, it is. That's 2 races running in the 45-minute race that Graham is running with big damage. He's trying to... No, he's not really hunting down anybody. So let's see. So Paolo's tried to catch Sam. Dan's back to 4.5 to overtake her. So Dan's, 1, not had pace, and 2, made a mistake, let overtaker back through.
Yeah.
Morton is back out on the circuit.
Yep.
17 laps down, that's got to be 75%. That'll be one for the stewards, I imagine, if he can prove that he's not, that it was maybe big damage in his big pit stop. Then you let him off for the laps maybe of that he was in there for that and see if that makes it 75%. If not, then you don't really. Gary's right up the chuff of Joe. No, he's not. The timing screens are lying to us at 0.6 of a second. DeFizz, though, trying to catch Alex Powell. Remy Fernie's within 1.2 of DeFizz. Looking up and down the order, still no more movement. Clareball's still in there with his stop go. He needs to get back out. As Williams now unlaps himself once again from Clareball.
Tell you what, solid point by Alex.
Yeah,
very solid.
Great,
very
day.
solid.
Great day. And I think I've got, I think I've got my driver of the day.
Yeah, I do, and I think I know what car they're driving as well. I would say Darth in the V12 Aston, just to be biased. But nah, I know what it's going to be. As Matt's furiously typing in probably the Discord.
No, not in the Discord. I'm just doing the driver of the day stuff. I was just looking at race 1 for my last option for who's had 2 solid races, because I don't like to put people on the list who's had 1 solid race. I like to give 2 solid races. So I've gone for Alex, Mike Matthews, Simon Blair and Gary Leach. 3 of them were on the podium. Alex is 1st and 5th, Mike was 2nd and 4th at the minute, Gary was 9th and 4th, and Simon Blair is currently 10th and was 3rd. I think them 4 have had a good solid night. So they're the 4 I've gone for the driver of the day. Get your vote in. I would have gone Tibbs, but with Simon and Gary being ahead of Tibbs...
And you can only have 4 people on
if you
poll.
want a different option, put it in the chat who you vote for. Alex has got DeFizz catching him. 1.1 seconds is that gap. We're currently watching Alex. There's DeFizz. There's Remy Fernie as well. A great scrap. A great scrap. Pian, it's been good racing tonight, but such a chaotic night for Pro.
There has been. I know Pro Am was a bit chaotic. What I saw of it when I went on the track on my own. In man's land. Dan's nearly within 4 seconds of Overtaker, with 3 minutes to go.
DeFizz has got within 9/10 of Alex here.
Yeah, and he's bringing Fernie with him.
Yeah, the gap to Fernie and him, though, is still 1.2, so Fernie's not catching on DeFizz like DeFizz is to Alex. So, interesting here. Andrew Taylor, 1.8 off the back of Paolo. Keep our eyes on that. Coming down as well. Joe, 20 seconds behind this trio of cars. You just feel for Joe that if he did change tyres, well, was it the right call? Dan's 2.9 off of Overtaker now.
Ooh, that's a second in a sector.
That's 1.1 in a sector.
It has Taker made a mistake. Taker's in traffic.
Traffic, yeah.
A hell of a lot of traffic. He's
still got half of it to go. Where's Dan? Dan's just coming up behind Dennis Newman, the only the one sole Vesa Racing Team car, who is still in Dan's way a little bit here. Must be said.
I'll tell you what, Mike put out a warning with his admin hat on saying, respect the blue flags. And Overtaker's
Sky for
really
driver of the day, says Tracy. Dennis Newman now moves out to Dan's way. Now Dan's got to get past Sherry. Where's Overtaker? Overtaker's got Sherry possibly trying to unlap himself. Dan's 2.5. Right, back to Remy Fernie and DeFizz. DeFizz has lost time to Alex Powell, but he's been caught by Remy Fernie. Where's Nash? He's at the hairpin, so there's possibly still 2 laps to go here. Dan Davis is 1.1 behind. Oh, and Dan's had to cut the chicane. Dennis has come back past him.
Yeah.
Well, the lap traffic here causing a bit of bother.
I won't be surprised if that's been put in, that traffic, just not getting out of the way.
Dan's got back ahead of Dennis. Now Overtaker's got Sooty to deal with.
I'll keep an eye on them.
And Graham's got damage here. Graham pulls over to the side. And he's still not let Overtaker go. I can see a lot of tickets coming in tonight from Pro. Sooty has Overtaker right up the back of him. Sooty lets him go. Sherry has not let Dan go. Sherry's gone to pass Overtaker at Sooty. They're side by side. Sooty tries to let Dan go. He does now. And Sherry's not got out of the way.
The Fizz.
Let's go back down to that battle then.
Alex didn't far up the road either. It's probably about a second and a half between.
Well, De Fizz was 9 tenths behind. He's now 1.2. So Ramey here looking for a top 5. Tibbs for driver of the day says, Sky for driver of the day says Tracy in the chat. Ramey 30 there, then still coming through. What about Overtaker? He's now coming up to De Hoffner, that looks like. And Dan's with him. 1.4 is the gap. Back to De Fizz and Ramey. Keep our eyes on the sector time for Dan. Ramey's within half a second now of De Fizz, and it's been a great fight all night. 10 seconds left of this race. Sherry is in the pit, so whatever happened at the end, he's returned to Gary Diggs. He drove past the pit lane, I do believe. Are we going to get one more lap in? No, we're not, because Nash is going to come to the line, and Nash is going to slow down. He's got that big a gap. Nash wins the race. It is a second race win for Nash. Overtaker. De Hoffner stays out his way. Dan will be furiously coming through.
Close with Overtaker lap and De Hoffner.
Dan's nearly just got turned in on De Hoffner there. De Hoffner was still slow on the corner. And it looks like it is going to be Overtaker to take P2. And it looks like it will be Dan to take P3. So Overtaker's going to cross the line for P2. Dan Davis will come across for P3. Mike Matthews a solid P4. Good night for him.
It is.
Oh, somebody's across the line backwards.
Backwards.
Alex Powell will then be P5. Good race. Good night for him as well.
Yeah,
De Fizz
very solid time.
managed to hang on there against Smokey Devil. That'll be P6 for Ramey. It'll be P7.
Here come Joe.
Joe, not really at the race this night. Bad race 1, not the best race 2. It's going to be P8 for him. Gary Leach looks like he's going to come across for P9. There's Joe doing a few burnouts.
Hit the wall.
Yeah, I mean, drivers aren't meant to be spinning across the line. Gary
I didn't
Leach,
see what car that spun.
P9. No, but Joe was nearly out of control across the line as well. Simon Blair will be P10.
Good note for Blair as well. Really?
Tibbs,
P3 and P10.
P11. Sam, P12. Paolo, P13. P14 the way of Andrew Taylor. De Hoffner, P15 after his teammate retired. Clouden, he was P16.
People are leaving the session.
Yeah, so I can't put the results in. Apologies. So we'll have to wait to get the results through. Right, so well, we'll hopefully get Overtaker and Dan in. Let's get the qualifying 2 screenshots. As drivers have decided to leave the session, so we cannot now get results in until the end of the race. We do apologise for that, which means we cannot bring you a full and up-to-date table. I will try and do it as we go through the interview period as best we can. But drivers who have left haven't really helped the situation. PN, what a chaotic night. What a chaotic night.
Very chaotic. Very, very chaotic night. And there's already 2 tickets in.
Can we say the back markers are as dangerous as LMP3 drivers? Yeah, there's a lot of talking points tonight. I think Sky King of the Day, so Max and Tracy give Sky Driver of the Day. The vote in the audience at the minute is going the way of Alex. Yeah, a lot of talking points, PN, to take from tonight. Right, we now get a final full race classification, so I can take my screenshots, so I can get that one. And then I can get that one. And then I can get that one. Right. We will, though, start with Dan, P3 on the night. So let me just finish inputting the results. So Dennis Newman come across the line in P17. Clouden come across the line P16. Sheary, he was down in P19. After him, again, we really encourage drivers, please stay till the end so that we can get the final race classification in. Clarbel will finish P23. Borough, Bex, 21st. B. Martin, He's going down as 25th, but we'll obviously have to check his lap times. I mean, he did one lap less than Daz, and Daz left the lobby. And Costa there, I just missed at the very end. I'll check my picture now. And for Costa, he came across the line at P20. It was also a fastest lap of the race for Nash. Right, P3, Dan Davis. Dan, I don't really know what to ask you because it hasn't been a great night.
It's a joke, is what it was been. Back markers, man, what are they playing at? Back markers, race 1, just, luck of the draw. Firstly, I want to apologise to Overtaker at the start of race 2. I had a lag spike sat behind him and I gave him a bump. I got no damage, but he got, like, I think he sent me an image of 19 seconds. So that's how I jumped him in the pits. There was nothing spectacular. It was just he was repairing damage. So, yeah, some of these boys need to learn that, one, you can't just overtake on lap 1 and go for it, and everyone's just confetting. I had a McLaren that just drove straight into me off track, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm annoyed at myself for P3 because I should have got second, but
what happens?
I mean, it balances out then. Overtaker gets second after me giving him a bump. So
what happens when you lost that P2, Dan? We saw Overtaker was like 2 seconds behind you, and then you end up 4.5 behind him.
Just lack of concentration. I went into turn 1, went to read the comments in my stream, and bounced off the curb in turn 1. And faced the wrong way. So I think karma kind of hit me for giving Overtaker a tap. But it is what it is. I can't seem to race at Zolder without something happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't complain. The guy I'm losing to is my teammate. So, you know, and he came fourth, which annoys me. But you know, it is what it is.
Back markers as well, you was catching Overtaker at the end, but it wasn't catching him out of your own right pace and him making mistakes. Traffic was the big issue.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. Like, there was many opportunities for people to get out of the way, but they didn't. They just, I know they were in their own fights, but I was hunting Overtaker down, and they were in his way, they were in my way. I think he got a tap at some point, you know, it's like, boys, come on, let's just look around and see what's going on.
You, Dan, where Sutty was letting Overtaker go, Sherry was getting past Overtaker, who wasn't racing him because I think he was lapped down to Sutty, and then you was behind the pair of them. Did you feel at that point anything could happen here?
I know Sutty, he wouldn't have hit me deliberately, so he kind of gave me the respect on the inside going into the chicane. So I wasn't too actually worried about Sutty. It was more the fact that Ferrari was just a bit erratic and using I know he's using Overtaker to clear the guys around him, but he clearly forgot that I was in a scrap with Overtaker. So it was just a little bit like, come on, boys, just pay attention to what's going on.
We travel to Nürburgring next week. Now, we said off air before the night, you go well at Nürburgring. You are the most successful driver there with 2 pole positions and 4 race wins to your name. What can you do? Because Nash had great pace tonight in the dry.
I still can't make out Nash, to be honest. I mean, there's a couple of races where he's had clean air and just disappears. When he's in the pack, he seems to, I don't know, I'm not going to say he's bad in the pack, but so far I've only seen his race wins where he's ended up being at least racing one car on his own. So, I mean, he ends up getting involved in the incidents like the rest of us. So I'm not too worried about him at this stage until he starts creeping up the points a little bit more. You know, I've got that head start because of Donington. So, but Nürburgring, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm just really good round there, and I don't know why. I just gel around the circuit, so I'm expecting to be good around there. I've driven the old Lamborghini around there and really enjoyed it. So hopefully the Evo 2 will be just as good.
Well, Dan, well done on the podium. Commiserations, race 1. Don't really know whether to congratulate you or not. We'll see you next week at Nürburgring.
It's just pointsy season. I won a touring car championship without winning a race, so you know it's just collecting the points. And fair play to Nash. He seems to like the circuit and was very, very fast. But no, congratulations to Overtaker and well-deserved second.
Yeah, indeed. Well, if you want to hear more of Dan Davis, make sure you tune in next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. GMT, for the Pro-Am night, where Dan Davis will be bringing you all the action live there. We move now to second place, and the Overtaker. And really, Overtaker, it's kind of same question, Stu, as I asked to Dan. Race 1, disaster. Race 2, you know, a podium, great podium for yourself. But again, more problems on the circuit?
Yeah, what can I say? I don't know. It's race one. I'm not gonna lose words. I think it is to be expected because we are in the new season with a lot of new guys, and there seems to be a big pace difference in the faster guys and the slower guys, and the newer guys have to read the rules again. I think about the race starts because it was chaotic. I was almost on the brakes all the time when I was in the mid pack, and I still managed to get caught out with so many drivers just changing lanes at the start. That is the most dangerous thing you can do because you need to have spatial awareness if there's a car left or right, you're not only in front and behind. So yeah, race one was terrible, but I guess lucky for me to say that. But also my main rivals got involved as well.
Yeah.
In the incident, so it really didn't matter. It's only a waste of practice, if you practice and put the time in and then you got knocked out with 6 minutes of damage. It is what it is. But yeah, race 2, I tried everything I could into turn 1 again on the outside. Nash covered me off, then got the position back. And then it's not about the contact, it starts, no biggie. It is what it is. And then I made a mistake, that's why he caught me actually. I jumped over the second chicane and hit the wall straight on. That's when I get the damage. Then caused me I think 5 seconds, and then I get 10 more, so that was the reason why. And I knew I had to put everything together to keep him behind. The car was almost undrivable, it turned to left a bit and I was losing a lot of speed on the straights. And of course he was smart enough to stay out, overtake me on in the pit lane, but he made my day also because I saw the Lamborghini spawn around into turn 1 and I was like, yeah, that's the Dan I know. So that was quite a happy thing to see.
Back markers again, overtaker. I've asked Dan, it was a problem. It was a problem at the end of that race because it meant Dan was catching you. Just give us your opinion on them back markers at the end of race 2.
Yeah, it's not really about who loses more time. We were all losing time and you can never know it. Sometimes it can go in your favor, sometimes in others, but yeah, I don't get it. If you get the blue flags, just slow down a bit at the straight and you're gonna gain more time by doing so than putting yourself at risk and try to race with a couple of guys. I don't know who it was, the new ones, they actually raced with me on the chicanes and I got even more damage with contacting one. So yeah, I was really nervous at the end because I was really struggling to keep it on the road because I haven't repaired it in the pits. And then also I had to negotiate a lot of traffic. And actually, yeah, like Dan said, we both lost time, but actually I think I lost it even more because he got pretty close at the end.
Yeah.
Well, Overtaker, commiserations, congratulations on both races tonight. We'll see you next week. Oh, yeah, apologies. Nürburgring, next week, Overtaker. What can you do around there?
It's a shame we're not racing the full track. But
later this year when it comes.
Yeah, I hope so. It's my favorite tracks. But the short one, yeah, it's okay. I think it's an easy track to drive. It's a hard track to master, so I think it's going to be similar to that one. But I think I'm going to be stronger because Zolder is not my fastest track, and at Norp I've done many laps, so I think I'm going to be better than this round.
Indeed. Well, Overtaker, congratulations and commiserations as well. We'll get one final quick word. We just had Simon Blair join the chat. Simon, podium from you. Just talk us about your race one earlier on.
Oh, it was alright, mate. It was just trying to keep it clean. I knew I wasn't the fastest, but if I kept my nose clean, I was going to be in the top 5 anyway.
You had a good fight with Mike Matthews and Sky Schundelmeyer as well for that podium position. It really was a hard place to keep in race one.
Oh, it was a push, mate. I got double picked up in the pits again. I lost about 2.5 seconds, I think, here. I might have got for second place.
It is to be. Nürburgring next week for yourself?
It is what it is, mate. There's a lot of fast lads in the lobby.
Yeah.
So, you know yourself, qualifying, it does a bit, but it's the race that counts, isn't it?
Exactly, that is it. Driver of the day goes the way of Alex Powell in the chat. PM, final words from you and your driver of the day.
My driver of the day is Alex. Not bad for quite an old car. if you think about it, at that version of the Aston. Well, that was chaotic. I'm kind of hoping Nürburgring's cleaner next week for both Pro and Pro-Am. Roll on the ring.
Yeah, roll on the ring, indeed. Oh my days, I've just caught my shelf and knocked it. That is all we have time for here tonight at SimPlay Motorsport. I as well am going to give my vote for driver of the day to Alex. I think he's had a fantastic night, a first and a fifth, I do believe it was. Debut win for, not a debut win, sorry, his first ever win at SimPlay. So we crowned Nova last night a new winner, and we now get to crown Alex tonight as a new winner as well. We head on to the ring next week at Germany in the Nürburgring. It's going to be fantastic. Dan Davis will be live Wednesday night at 8 p.m. GMT for all the Pro-Am action. And myself and PM Motorsport will be back live on Thursday night for the Pro action. Stewards look busy this weekend. That's pretty much the theme of this week. But what will it be at the ring next time out? While I've just sorted the table standings out, before we go off air, I will bring you the final classifications at the moment pending stewards inquiry. So this is, I say final classifications, this is the classifications pending stewards inquiries. Mike Matthews leads the way, 9 points clear of Dan Davis, 37 clear of Nash. Gary Leach is P4 with Alex Powell P5, Joe P6, Ramy Fernie P7, Overtaker moves up into 8th, he's tied with Fernie for P7. Clouden will be P9 with Sky P10, Luke is 11th, Simon up into 12th, Sherry 13th to Fizz 14th, Paolo 15th, Andrew Taylor moves up to 16th with Dan Brave in 17th, Darren Yo, one retirement to his name, he's down in 18th place, Cootie is 19th, Graham 20th, De Hoffner 21st, Sam 22nd, Losser 23rd, P. Williams 24th, Clarbel 25th, Borobex 26th, Costa 27th, Dennis Newman 28th, B. Morton 29th, Garvin and Tech Leader, reserve drivers yet to get off the mark. Constructors' Championship, SimPlay Racing extend their gap over BTC Jaeger by the end of tonight with a good finish for them to in race 2, puts them 130 clear of BTC Jaeger. The Haggis Munchers are P3 with JB Racing P4, Ottinger All Stars P5, Red Rum clear of 2 old prams, Button Basher in P9 with Versa Racing Team P9, P10 for BDM Motorsport, and in the manufacturers, McLaren retake control at the top of the leaderboard from BMW, Lamborghini, who are getting a bit closer to BMW now, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Porsche, Mercedes, Bentley, Audi, Honda, Lexus, Jaguar, Nissan and Retia. Dan will be live next week, and I myself will be back live with PM Motorsport next Thursday. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.